Pie-Eyed Piper, Sean, Beyond Belief, what's up? Drink some water real quick. So I'm back at UC Irvine for the second time. I've only been here once before. So this will be my second time here. The first time I came here, I didn't really find a good spot. I was just kind of like walking around the campus just to see where the most crowded areas were and stuff like that. So I couldn't really find a good spot where there was a lot of foot traffic. But I did notice that there's a plaza. So there's the school's here, and then there's a bridge here. I'll show you guys. So this bridge here connects to a plaza where there's a bunch of food restaurants like Chick-fil-A, In-N-Out, Chipotle, a bunch of food places, and a lot of students walk through this bridge to get there to and from. So I figured it's a good spot to post up right here, take advantage of that traffic, right? So we'll see if we get any conversations here. I mean, we should. Let me just show you guys how the table looks real quick as well. Might as well. So again, that's the bridge. Again, the school is on this side. I was thinking of going up those stairs right there, up in that platform, but I don't know. I mean, it does look like there's some traffic there, foot traffic. But again, this is where most of it's gonna be. Like, as you can see, students are just gonna be walking back and forth right here all day. Especially the closer to 12, the more students that should be passing by. But that's the table right there. Can't miss it, right? You can't miss it. So hopefully we have a good day. Put this camera back up. I'm already missing some of the heat that we experience coming from the sun or something else beneath, which could also be causing motion. True? What's up?
Are you on TikTok?
YouTube.
Oh,
I'm YouTube. Want to give this a shot? 2 very easy questions. Sure you'll get them. Yeah, very elementary. Yeah. All right, first question. Here's multiple choice too.
Yeah.
So I have 3 box trucks. They're completely sealed. They're all on a level surface, and they all have an apple hanging from a string. The only difference between these 3 box trucks is that one is at rest, one is accelerating forward, and one is accelerating in reverse. So out of these 3 box trucks, which one is at rest?
So
There's one truck accelerating forward, one is accelerating in reverse, and one is at rest. So out of these 3, which one is at rest? Which one would you say is at rest?
So I feel like the obvious answer would be B, but like I feel like if it hasn't always been at rest.
Yeah, it's always been at rest. It's at rest and it's been at rest.
How was it hung? So it was just like...
Yeah, it's on a level surface. So the truck's on a level... It's not on a hill. Because obviously if it's on a hill, then it's going to give you a different effect.
Yeah.
But it's on a level surface. They're all on a level surface. So based on the facts that I gave you, which one is at rest?
I would say B.
Yeah, that's the obvious one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's obvious. Because, what would you say B then? What's the reason?
Because the only reason why it would be A or C to be like the movie, because like I've never taken physics class, but when it's moving forward, usually what happens is like it goes back.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The apple would swing back, or appear to swing back. Yeah, that happens because the apple has inertia. So when the truck accelerates forward, the apple gets left behind because of its inertia. So it just appears to swing back because the whole container is moving forward. Yeah, you got it. So A is accelerating forward, would you say?
Yeah.
Or B? Yeah, perfect. You got it. All right. Second one is pretty similar, but instead of an apple, it's a helium balloon. So out of these 3, which one is at rest?
I'd say B again. I don't know. Yeah, it's just like...
You guys want to give it a shot? Yeah? You guys could come do it real quick. I just started. You guys could do it as a group. Yeah. Let me just do the first question for them real quick, and then we'll jump to the second one. All right, he did the first one already. It's just 2 questions. So I'll let you guys do the first one first, and then you guys can do the second one together. So I have 3 box trucks here.
Okay.
They're all on a level surface. They're all completely sealed, and they all have an apple hanging from a string. The only difference between these 3 box trucks is that one is at rest, one is accelerating forward, and one is accelerating in reverse. So out of these 3, which one is at rest?
Isn't that just speed?
Yeah.
Like
Okay. What would you say B though? It is B.
Because it's still.
It's still, yeah. The apple's not swinging. It's not moving. So yeah, that's the one at rest. So which one's accelerating forward?
A.
A. Okay. Why would you guys say A?
It's going backwards.
The apple's going backwards?
Yeah.
Yeah. It appears to go back because the whole truck's moving forward. So the apple has inertia, so it just gets left behind. So you guys got it. That one is accelerating forward. Right. So now the second one. He was doing the second one now. So it's pretty similar, but instead of an apple, it's a helium balloon. So now this is a buoyant object. So it's tied from the bottom. So out of these 3, which one is at rest?
B.
B? Okay, you guys got it. It's for the same reason as the first, is because it's not moving. You know, it's vertical. So which one's accelerating forward? You guys see? Okay, how did you know it's C?
But usually go like with the movement.
They go with the movement of the car. Yeah, they do. So this is a buoyant object. So this represents the balloon because it's floating in water, just like the balloon is floating in air. So right now it's at rest, right? It's vertical. But as soon as I accelerate it, watch what happens to the ball. It goes forward with the motion. Yeah, because that's what a buoyant object will do. It will always get moved with the direction of the force. So here, I recreated this experiment in real life, and it's basically both questions in one. So I want to see if you guys can get this one. So this is the true "Are you smarter than a 5th grader?" question. So let me get this pulled up. All right, so here, you guys can see the helium balloon and the apple, right? So what direction did I accelerate this cargo van? To the right or to the left?
To the right.
To the right? Do you guys all agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's obvious because the balloon got pushed forward, you know, and the apple got left behind. So this is a bonus question. Let's see if you guys can get it. So it looks like the apple and the helium balloon are moving away from each other, right? It looks like they moved away from each other. But in reality, only one of those actually moved and the other one didn't move. So out of the apple and the helium balloon, which one actually moved?
The apple.
You think the apple actually moved?
The balloon.
It's the balloon. So the balloon was pushed forward by the air, which was pushed forward by the truck. So the balloon is experiencing a force because it's being pushed. The apple only got left behind, so it didn't get moved. It didn't move through space. The whole container moved through space. So the helium balloon has true motion and the apple has apparent motion. So one last question before you guys go. If I have a helium balloon here on Earth and I release it, what direction does it go? Up. Yes. Why do you think it goes up? There's 2 reasons. Because what? Yes, helium is less dense than air, right? And what's the second reason why you guys think heliums go up? There's a second reason. So the second reason is the force. So gravity, right? So gravity is pushing the balloon up. But here's the thing. I don't know if you guys knew gravity as a pulling force has never been measured or detected, and it's just a theory. I don't know if you guys knew that gravity is just a theory, because the fact is the force of the earth is not a pull, it's a push. So right now you're not being pulled towards the earth. It's the earth pushing up against your feet. So that's the pressure, where the pressure is coming from. So that upwards push of the earth is what's pushing up the air, and that's why helium balloons go up, because the air is being pushed up by the earth. You know, and that's the reality. And that's why gravity as a pulling force will never be proven, because it doesn't exist. So when you release an apple into a free fall in a helium balloon, the helium balloon has true motion because it's being pushed up, and the apple only has apparent motion. It doesn't really accelerate down because it's the earth that comes up to meet the object. So nothing accelerates down to the earth. It's the earth that comes up to everything. So right now the earth is like a giant elevator pretty much, and we're inside of it. And it's literally constantly pushing up against your feet, and that's why we're stuck to it. So they're telling us it's the other way around, right? That we're being pulled down to the earth, and that's why we're stuck to it, but it's the other way around. It's the earth pushing up against us. So this is the real reason why I'm doing this. You guys all believe the earth is a ball, right? Yeah. Do you guys understand that on a ball, up is relative? So if you're standing here, up is this way for you, but if you're standing down here, up is this way. In every direction away from the center is up on a ball, right? If we could prove physically that the earth is not pulling us down towards it, but is actually pushing up against us, how can the earth push up in every direction at the same time if it was a ball? Yeah, it wouldn't work. That would mean the earth will have to be expanding. if to push up in every direction, it would just explode. It wouldn't work. So in order for people to believe in the ball Earth theory, they first have to believe in gravity being a pull of the Earth. Because if we could prove that it's actually a push and buoyancy shows us that, then the whole globe Earth concept falls apart. So that would be the number one proof to debunk the globe Earth, is the fact that gravity is a push of the Earth, not a pull. And physics shows us that. You know, helium balloons rising shows that they're being pushed up by the air, and the air cannot push itself, so it's being pushed up by the Earth. So that's the reality. So if I was to ask you guys respectfully, why do you guys believe the Earth is a ball?
I mean, that's what was taught, and I never did enough research to be like, oh yeah, this is, you know. So
could we agree that it's based on hearsay or based on faith? In other words, you just took it for.
I say me personally, I would say it's based on the.
For you.
Like I believe what you know.
What you were told.
Yeah.
Exactly. I would say that that's no different than a religion. It's when you just believe what you're told without actually physically proving it. So, is there any reason why you guys believe the Earth is a ball, or is it just because you were told as well?
Just because you're taught.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. So, again, what does that mean? The Earth is not a ball. It's actually just an extended level plane, and it's pushing up in one direction. So everybody's up is the same. So they're telling us that Australia and China are underneath our feet, right? But the fact is they're just across the way. So all the continents and all the lands are just across the way. Nothing bends around the ball. So if everybody looks up, everyone looks in the same direction. So up is not relative. It's everybody's up is the same. It's the direction that the Earth is moving. It's up, and it's just a level plane. That's what it is. That's the reality of the Earth. So you guys have heard of flat Earth before, right? I'm sure you guys have. So flat Earth is a psyop, and I'm going to tell you guys why. So over 95% of flat Earthers are claiming the Earth is motionless. So they deny the force of the Earth completely. So they're just talking a lot of shit, pretty much. They're just trying to basically, that's the controlled opposition. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. So the whole globe Earth versus flat Earth is no different than Democrats versus Republicans. So it's a controlled debate that they're doing, because they both believe in a gravity, pretty much, in a pull. Because if you believe the Earth is motionless, and when you release an object, you still believe that this accelerates down to the Earth in free fall, which has never been measured. So again, do you guys have any questions for me before you guys go about this subject? I mean, do you have any questions for me about this subject?
Pretty interesting.
No, yeah, it definitely is interesting. I mean, if you guys don't have any other questions, you guys can take this flyer and you can check out my channel. Yeah, I'll give you guys. Here you go. So, I mean, other than here, I'll give you one as well. I mean, I know you just got here, but let me ask you straight up.
Okay.
Do you believe the Earth is a ball?
Yeah.
Why do you believe the Earth is a ball? All right, man. Take care. All right, you guys take care. All right.
Well, I guess if you look at the way the clouds are formed, all of them are kind of like.
The way the what?
Well, the way clouds are formed, I took a class on environmental sciences.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty interesting how, like, closer to the equator, the clouds like spin faster than the ones at the very top. So that kind of convinces me that at the top, like the linear velocity
Of clouds.
the clouds at the top of the Earth are slower than like in the middle.
Okay, fair enough. I see.
Yeah.
So could that be caused by something else other than the Earth being a globe? Because you're saying that because the Earth is a globe spinning, I would assume.
Yeah.
And that's what's causing the weather to move, right?
Yeah.
So I would say that whatever is causing the weather, patterns and all that, I would say it has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth, in my opinion. I would say it has more to do with the motion of the sun and heat spots it creates on Earth, and that's why you have the seasons and basically motion of
We say the same thing
air
then
pressure.
for, I guess, like how long a day is in different parts of the world.
Sure.
Like, I guess if you go further up north, the day is longer.
Yeah.
But I guess the way is someone who believes the Earth is round would say that it's because of, if you're like closer to the middle of the sphere, then you're gonna experience like. It's easier to explain with a diagram.
Yeah.
But basically, like, as you're closer to the center, you feel the effects of like the sunlight going away as the Earth turns more than someone at the top.
Yeah. So let me ask you this.
Sure.
If the Earth was a ball, like we were told, right? Should we be able to physically measure that curvature of the Earth, the curvature of the Earth?
Yeah, I mean,
right?
Obviously, there's going to be limitations now, but
now, if we're going to measure the curvature of the Earth, do you happen to know the size of the Earth, like the radius or the circumference?
I mean, I I personally don't know.
Okay, I could tell you. You could look it up. Again, it's pretty basic information, right? So the radius of the Earth that we're told is 3,959 miles, allegedly.
Sure.
That's the radius. So the circumference is 24,901. That's the distance around, right? So based on the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, we can calculate for how much curvature there should be every mile based on the radius they told us, right? So it turns out they should be 8 inches per mile squared. What that means is that in the first mile, there's an 8-inch curve. Second mile, 32 inches, and by the third mile, there should be 6 feet of curvature based on the radius of the Earth that they're telling us. This is geometry. This is reality, right? I mean, facts of math. So how do we measure for this curvature to see if it's actually there, right? There's a very easy way to do it. And here's how you do it. So if we go out to a giant lake that was 3 miles across, for example, filled with water, once the lake is it's basically at rest, for example, if we build a level structure above the body of water, in other words, a horizontal structure above the body of water, the water is going to lay parallel to that structure because the physics of water when containing at rest is it takes the shape of a container, but the surface always collapses to form an equal surface, right? But they're trying to tell us that that's not true, that water, the surface of water is bending 8 inches per mile squared because that's the radius of the Earth they're telling us. So that means every lake on Earth has to be displaying this curvature on the surface, which the physics of water shows that that's physically impossible for water to do that. So a physical measurement of the Earth, water in specific, will show that the Earth has 0 curvature and it's just an extended level plane. Because there's lakes that are over 20 miles, there are over 100 miles, and they show 0 curvature when the body of water is at rest. So what do you think about that?
Sure. I mean,
so this is a physical measurement that will show no curvature.
I mean, obviously you have like, I don't know. I feel like you put a lot of thought into this.
Oh, definitely. I've been looking into this subject for over 10 years,
Yeah.
so I definitely do have a lot of knowledge when it comes to this, but it's all pretty basic stuff, though. That stuff that debunks the globe Earth, a child can understand it. That's why I have the Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Because if you're smarter than a fifth grader, you're smart enough to debunk the globe Earth. That's what it comes down to. So here, this is the number 2 proof, by the way.
Okay.
The physics of water. You want to hear what the number 1 proof is?
Sure.
So the number 1 proof actually has to do with gravity. So I know we've been told that gravity is a pulling force of the Earth, right? That everything gets pulled towards the center of mass of the Earth, right?
Yeah.
The fact is that force that they're claiming that exists, that pulls everything towards the Earth, it actually is just a theory. So it has never been physically measured or detected or proven, in other words. And that's why it's just a theory.
That's true.
Yeah, so the fact is the force of the Earth, have you heard of the normal force?
Yeah.
So the normal force is the only true force of the Earth, which is an upwards push. It's what causes buoyancy here on Earth.
Sure.
So you know what buoyancy is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a buoyant object, for example, right?
Yeah.
It's floating in water, but the only reason why this is floating in water is because it's experiencing a force.
Okay.
The force of the Earth, the upwards push. What does that mean? That means that whenever I push this container in any direction, that ball is going to get pushed in the same direction as the applied force because it's buoyant. The medium that surrounds it is always going to push it in that same direction, right?
Yeah.
That means that when a helium balloon is rising through the air, that means the air is also being pushed up to be able to push up the helium, which means the Earth is pushing up the air.
Yeah.
So the force of the Earth is not a pull, it's a push. So the Earth is constantly moving up through space right now, pushing up against you. It's not pulling you down towards it, it's the other way around. So they tell us that when you release an object, that this object moves towards the Earth and crashes into the Earth, but the reality is it's the Earth that crashes into this object. The Earth is moving up. This only looks like it goes down because everything is moving up.
Sure.
So it only has apparent motion of down because everything is moving up. So what does that mean? That means that you believe the Earth is a ball, obviously, but on a ball, up is relative. So if you're standing here, up is that way, but if you're standing down here, up is this way. What does that mean? That means if the Earth is pushing up, we could prove that physically through buoyancy, that would mean that the Earth will have to be expanding in every direction to be able to push up if it was a ball. So it would just explode, it wouldn't work. So that's why in order for people to believe in the ball Earth theory, they first have to believe in gravity being a pull. Because if we could prove that it's a push, the whole heliocentric model, the whole globe Earth falls apart. It wouldn't work. So physics, real physics here on Earth, debunks the heliocentric model, basically. So the physics of buoyancy and what's required for buoyancy is in specific. So that's the number 1 proof to debunk the globe Earth, is the fact that gravity is a push of the Earth, not a pull. And what do you think about that?
I mean, I'm just kind of like, I mean, I'm gonna be straight up.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna look into this more later.
Yeah, please.
For some reason, I mean, obviously I bit.
No, yeah, I kind of like, you know, it's kind of a lot of information at once, especially, you know.
I guess like, what's going through my mind right now is sort of like, why is this all so important to you? Like,
oh, okay.
Why, yeah, say like the Earth is flat, like.
Sure.
Tomorrow's Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday. The day after that's Thursday.
Yeah.
I guess like
still
why
gotta go to work tomorrow too.
Yeah, like I guess why use your time like this?
Okay,
like,
well,
I guess what do you gain from doing all this?
Well, I personally just gain satisfaction of coming out and speaking truth. I guess it's a personal satisfaction I get. Yeah. But on top of that, I feel like I'm trying to help people out, because if I was in a position where I still believed in the globe Earth and there was information that directly contradicted that, like especially physics that contradicts that, I would want somebody to tell me. So just for the simple reason that I don't like being lied to, it's part of the reason why I'm out here.
Can I give you a hypothetical?
Yes, please.
Say you somehow convinced. I'm a mathematician.
Okay, so fair enough. So this was easy for you then, the curvature.
Well, upper level math is very different from this. I feel like those are more nut jobs than.
No, I understand. Like computer, you know, when it comes to computers, math, and all that. Oh. But yeah, what's your hypothetical?
Hypothetically, if let's say you were able to prove it.
Yes.
Let's say UC, like the physical science department, saw your research and saw your evidence, and somehow, for some reason, they decided to help you in your research, and one day you bring it up to NASA, and NASA brings it up to the world, and the world
fair enough.
Like, what's your name, by the way?
My name is William.
William?
Yeah, it's in the flyer. You'll be able to see it. But yeah.
William. So, William is now the new Nobel laureate to figure out that the Earth was flat, right?
Fair enough. Level, not flat.
Level. Okay. I just want. What's then after that? Like, I guess, what's the goal of the satisfaction? Is it never ending? Because
so what it comes down to is you're basically asking, like, why would they lie, or why does it matter, right?
All right, I guess I'm asking, like, what do you get out of this? You know, because obviously you're doing this because you think it's important, but
yeah. So it goes deep. It goes really deep, actually. So and I know in the surface level is it's just the shape of the Earth, right? But it goes very deep because this lie shows, like, it's a psychological attack, first of all, that's happening to us. So people might ask, well, why would they lie to us? What difference does it make if it's flat or a globe, right? Yeah. So I would say, first, if you believe you're somewhere you're not, or if you believe the Earth is something that it's not, then by default, you're gonna believe you're something you're not as well, because we're part of the Earth, we're part of this environment, we're part of this creation, right? I would say. So if they could get you to believe this place is something that it's not, then by default, you're never gonna find, like, your true self or your true purpose. You're always gonna be living someone else's purpose, in other words, because not only that, not only are you believing what this place is, you're buying into ideas of living as well by the same people that are telling you what this place is. So it's control. It's to control people. So I don't like being controlled, and I don't like to see other people being controlled. So that's why I speak out. So you know, it's to break this cycle, pretty much.
What do you suppose the true person is then?
That's a good question. I actually don't know. I don't know what a true human being would be like.
Like, I feel like this word brainwashed and controlled is kind of thrown around a lot.
Sure,
like,
fair enough.
We could, like, I guess, like, for example, I'm a Christian, right?
Okay, fair enough.
I guess Christians would say that schools are brainwashing kids into, like evolution and LGBTQ.
I would agree with that, but sure, yeah.
I guess the atheists would say Christians are brainwashing kids into believing there's an infinite God, right?
And I will agree with that too.
I guess people can say you're out here brainwashing people into thinking that the Earth is leveled.
No.
And then you're saying people are out there brainwashing kids and saying the Earth is round, and that mass and gravity and Newton didn't bring up the idea, but some scientists brought up the idea that we're all on a level of mass or a level of gravity, and the larger the mass, the more gravity it pulls into the object.
Fair enough.
I guess, like, how would, like, and you know, all parties would say sort of the same thing. You know, I don't mean to get very political, but I guess, like, at the end of the day, if you ask someone, like, why they do these things, like, deep down they think they're doing good, but obviously that's not true because you know what I think is good and what you think is good is very different, and I feel like you and I don't have very different moral standards versus like someone like Donald Trump who would say like what he's doing is good, but obviously a lot of the United States doesn't think that. So I guess like how would you convince me that you're not trying to brainwash me?
Yes, I was gonna get to that.
Thinking versus level.
Yeah. So here's the difference between someone trying to brainwash someone and someone that's just trying to spread information. So here's the thing: you said Christians think that NASA or the schools, right, are brainwashing kids, right, and then the schools or NASA are saying that Christians are brainwashing kids. I would agree with both of those. Why? Because here's the fact. Nobody knows how the earth came to be. That's a fact. Let's just all agree on that, right? We can only have theories, right? So this is where I say that religions come in to fill in that gap, to tell you how the earth was created and how it came to be and what we're supposed to do here. I would say anyone telling you how this place was created is wrong off the bat. So every religion on earth, I don't go with. Okay. So that's just my opinion based on the facts that we don't know. Sure. So it just has to be faith-based. NASA, they have their own religion story or creation story of evolution, the Big Bang Theory. I would say that's no different than a religion trying to tell you how this place was created. So to me, NASA, the whole heliocentric model, is a religion. And in my opinion, it's the biggest religion on earth because one, again, it's based on faith, cannot be proven, and two, they're claiming to know what the earth is without actually knowing. Sure. Which is every religion, So they're both wrong in my opinion. So yes, they're brainwashing their kids. Both of those parties are brainwashing their kids. I'm not brainwashing kids because what I'm presenting is facts. It's based on physics. So it's like somebody telling you, or somebody that believes that people can walk on water. And I'm here telling you like, hey, that's physically impossible. Humans cannot walk on water because water has properties. We're more dense than water, will fall through. And I'll show demonstrations that it's physically impossible. But then somebody will just show like a little magic trick and then people will get convinced. So I'm trying to expose those people that are trying to brainwash. They're claiming to be able to do the impossible, which defies physics, which that doesn't exist. So I'm not brainwashing people because I'm representing the facts. Okay. The simple facts of reality, of physics, Physics can be broken. Physics is what it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, you accept cause and effect, right? Sure. Yeah, that's how technology is advanced, understanding cause and effect. And that's physics, that's reality, that's science. So everything that has to do with physics, the real world, shows that the earth cannot be a ball. It's physically impossible.
Well, I guess, to me, there's still some gaps to,
So I don't expect to convince you in a 10-minute conversation, especially you've had, 20 plus years, I don't know how old you are, but 15 plus years of indoctrination, of believing in the globe earth. Yeah. But I could tell you this, there is no physical proof that proves the earth is a globe. Okay.
But there's physical proof that the earth is level.
Yes, the physics of water being the number 2 proof. The number 1 proof, again, is the fact that the normal force of the earth is the only real force, which is an upwards push. So a pulling force of gravity is just something that was implemented to push a globe earth model. Because without a pulling force of gravity, you can't push a globe. Okay. The pulling force of gravity explains how water bends and sticks to a ball, how everyone sticks to a ball. It explains orbits. It explains everything, but it's just a theory. It has nothing physical. So the whole globe earth concept starts from a false premise, pretty much, which is that they believe gravity is a pull. But the fact is, it's a push. So that's where the whole globe earth falls apart from the start, literally. And it's very easy to understand and prove to yourself, and that's why I'm out here with are you smarter than a 5th grader? Because again, like I said, if you're smarter than a 5th grader, you can debunk the globe earth. That simple, I mean, anything before you go, that could leave me maybe thinking twice, maybe I'm wrong, or...
Well, I guess there's some things to consider. Sure. The biggest question for me is where does the normal force come from? Why is it specifically that?
Yes, that's a good question.
Also, how does the sun work then? Okay. And how would you explain other planets or other planet systems even though? Yeah.
So I'll answer the sun question and the planet question together because the luminaries, right? We call the sun, the moon, and the stars, right? They're lights in the sky. We can all agree on that, right? Yeah. So focusing and making assumptions about what these lights are and how they work tells us nothing about the shape of the earth. Not only because we don't know exactly how they work, and second, we're making assumptions about it. So making assumptions again about the stars and the moon and the sun tells us nothing about the dimensions of the Earth. So it's a red herring argument when it comes to the shape of the Earth. Does that make sense, or what do you think? You think there is relevancy in looking at the sky to tell us what the shape of the Earth is?
Yeah, I mean, like, if you kind of go to like a city full of people and
Sure.
you realize like, oh, this person has hair, this person has eyes, this person
Sure.
has a mouth, like,
Yes.
and I have hair, I have eyes.
But I can physically verify that with my
Yeah.
three-dimensionally. But
So
yeah, sure.
Do you not? I guess like, do you not believe like Mars is round?
I believe
here?
Mars is a light in the sky.
Is a light.
It's a light.
Then where did those lights come from?
Ooh, I would say the stars are more closer to what a rainbow is.
A rainbow.
So you know a rainbow, can you stand
Yeah,
on a
I
rainbow?
know it. No.
No, right? Because it's just
Why?
like a visual phenomena, you could say, that kind of happens, right? It's just
Yeah.
visual. Did you know, because a rainbow, you can only see it from a certain angle too. If you move to a different angle, it disappears.
Sure.
And then when you move back, you kind of see it again. The stars are no different. I don't know if you knew that.
Okay. Well,
Wait.
sorry.
No,
to
no,
cut you off.
no,
I was
go
thinking
for it,
about
go
the
for it.
sun.
Sure, sure.
So I guess your view of the Earth is that it's constantly going up.
Yes.
Like, let's say this is the Earth, and it's like going
Yes.
up. That's why we're being pushed down.
Yes.
And
Yes.
the sun somehow works in a way that we perceive it as it's either going around or either the Earth is tilting as.
Fair enough. No, so I think the Earth. So if it's stable, is the Earth, right, moving up,
Sure.
right? I would say the sun is a very small spotlight that just moves across the Earth, like around. I don't know the exact motion of the sun, but it's a very small spotlight. Like it can only illuminate so much of the Earth at once. It cannot illuminate the entire Earth. So
Okay.
we're being told the opposite, that the sun is huge in comparison to the Earth, and it illuminates the whole entire half at a time, right?
But you think it's a tiny spotlight that circles around the Earth.
Yes, I don't know exactly what it is though. I don't think
Okay.
it's physical or made out of gas and all that.
Then what causes the spin?
That's the thing. I don't know what that. Like, again, all these questions about how the sun and the stars work. Again, I don't know, and it doesn't really prove whether it's a globe or not.
And also,
physically.
like, I guess, yeah, the Earth is going up. What's causing it to go up?
Okay, good question.
And
so,
also, like,
yes, okay. That was
If it is going up,
Yes.
why is it that it's causing us to push down?
Yes, because okay, so your body has inertia, so it resists
Yeah.
motion, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that we're being pushed up, because your body has inertia, is resisting that upwards push because it wants to remain in its position in space, and that resistance of the upwards push is what gives us our weight.
But
That's
physics would tell us that for us to be held down here, right? This is he thinks the Earth is leveled.
yeah, it's not a globe.
Okay, yeah, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
No, yeah. People don't want to hear the facts because they contradict their bias, and it's too much.
Well, I wouldn't go as far as calling it facts yet, because
I would say that-
how you said like the globe has a lot of holes. I also think your representation has a lot of holes too.
Sure, I would say that I don't know the answers to the entire universe and how it works, but the answers I do have debunk the globe Earth. So for the fact that water is level when contained and at rest at all times, regardless of distance, it's something that cannot be denied by anyone. So if you have a giant pool, for example, the surface of water will always be a perfectly level surface, horizontal. We can extend that pool 10 miles long. The surface of that water is going to remain level. It's not going to curve at any point. It has to if the Earth was a globe and gravity was pulling it towards the center.
Sure.
The surface of water has to bend, when it
So,
doesn't. That
yeah.
defies physics, that claim.
I'll just present you with my idea of
Sure.
why I believe the globe is
Please.
flat, right?
Yes.
So on a circle, like just a two-dimensional circle,
Yes.
the way a circle is kind of like a shape with infinite sides,
Sure, yeah. I agree
right?
with that.
And I guess like
It has no edge or
has no
end
edge,
or
right?
end or beginning, right? Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I guess like but there are like ways we could describe a circle using like, or like there's a direction we could describe the curvature
Okay.
using a tangential plane, right?
Okay.
Like if this is a circle, like it's not a really good circle, but
Sure, you could use
it
more.
exists at every point of the circle is like a flat plane. Right?
Yes, every point on a sphere, you could say, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's made out of a bunch of different points, though. And
Yeah,
you
it
connect
is.
all those points, that starts to make a slope or a
But-
curve, basically.
Yeah. I don't think it's too crazy to say like if this was like big enough or if we were small enough, from our point of view, like the curvature is so large that it looks flat to us.
Yeah.
But from outside, it looks much larger. And
fair enough.
Obviously, like, yeah.
I would say, sure, in 1 mile, to see an 8-inch curve over a body of water, I don't think we'll be able to see that. I agree, in 1 mile, right? But if we went 3 miles, that's 6 feet of curvature. If we went 10 miles, that's 66 feet of curvature that should be there. That we should be able to see.
Yeah.
If you're seeing 10 miles across, like a lake, 10 miles across, we should be able to see a 66-foot drop on one end than the other. We should be able to put a roller in our perspective and see that this end curved down a little bit, 66 feet. Not only that, if we go literally directly above the body of water and measure it, you know, water doesn't do that because water has properties. You know, I don't know if you knew, water cannot be compressed as well.
Sure.
So water can be compressed. That's a fact. Anybody claiming that water can be compressed is a lying piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? No, you know, nobody claims that, but I'm just saying. Okay. Same thing with water bending. When water's containing at rest, the surface remains level. That's why we have liquids in these, because liquid always levels out regardless of distance, right? So they're trying to tell us that that's not the case, but that goes against all physics and basic understanding of how water works, you know. And that's where I'm saying, like, these people are trying to brainwash. I'm not, because I'm just showing you what it is, you know. I'm not making this stuff up. It's how matter behaves, you know.
Okay. I have to go to class.
Fair enough. Any question before you go for me?
Not really.
Not really? Fair enough.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it was a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure, man. I appreciate the chat. And
I assume this is for YouTube?
Yeah, it is YouTube. This one's filming me. It's live, so you can check it out. My channel's right there. I actually go to USC, UC Irvine, and UCLA. So this is my second time coming here, by the way.
I'm just asking because I would like to ask to be removed from the video.
Oh, I can blow your face. No worries.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would rather just like, I just came up because I was curious of what this is.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. No worries. All right, take care.
Okay. Have a nice day.
All right, man. You too. No, yeah, he was just stumped, and like, I mean, he doesn't want me to show him in the video, but I mean, I did say I won't blur him, but his facial expressions were pretty cool. Like, he just looked fucking, like, what's the fucking word, like bamboozled or something. Like, he looked, I can't think of the word. Shocked. He just looked shocked, like, perplexed. Like, I can't even think of the word, man. But like, damn, it was cool. Let me check the chat real quick. Yeah, there's a lot of students walking through here. It's a good spot right here. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to come here already, because I did see that there was a plaza, and I didn't notice this bridge last time that connects to this plaza and the school. And I don't know why I noticed it last time. I was like in the maps, and I noticed that plaza. Like, oh shit! Like, it's crazy because I seen the bridge before. Because when I came here, I did notice the bridge, but I didn't put 2 and 2 together. But yeah, I seen that it connects it to the plaza, so I figured there's gonna be a lot of students walking through here, and yeah, it is. There is. So this is gonna be a good spot to come to from now on. That way I can put UC Irvine on the map as well, right? So here, let me say to hi everyone in the chat. Forrest Campastro, Andrew, Vladimir, Sir Turtle Otter, Terry, Natalie, John's Take, and everyone else in chat. What's up? To believe Earth is a globe is to be beyond ignorant and totally brainwashed. Yeah, again, a lot of people like throw brainwashing a lot, right? Especially people that are brainwashed. It's ironic. And it's crazy. Usually, most people that are brainwashed don't understand what brainwashing is, right? I mean, it kind of makes sense that they don't know what brainwashing is because they're in it, right? So it kind of makes sense in a way that, you know. But yeah, most people that are brainwashed don't know what brainwashing actually means, like what it actually means. Like most people think that brainwashing is like what you see in the movies, right? Somebody just like dangles like a little clock in front of your eyes back and forth, and then they hypnotize you, and now you're brainwashed, and you're gonna do and say whatever you're told now by your master that put you in hypnosis, right? Like people think, I would think people probably think that's what brainwashing is. I don't know. I honestly don't know. So that's why they don't think that they've been brainwashed, right? Because brainwashing is actually very subtle. It's about making you believe in lies. And that's how you brainwash someone. It's making someone believe something that's not true. Like literally make you believe it. And if you adopt this belief, then you've been successfully brainwashed. Now there's obviously small lies, small brainwashing, and then there's bigger brainwashing. I always say the globe Earth is the biggest brainwashing that's happened here on Earth. Well, I would say believing that objects accelerate down in free fall is the biggest brainwash on Earth. You know, right now. Why? Because even flat earthers believe that. So the whole entire globe Earth community, right? And the flat earth community, they both believe objects accelerate down in free fall, which can easily be debunked. So yeah, that's the biggest brainwashing that's happened here on Earth that I've came across. You don't produce anything, you don't create anything, you don't have working models, you can make predictions, you can apply your theories in real life. Physics shows that Earth is a level plane. The physics of water shows that there is no curvature. It doesn't matter what the dimensions of the Earth is. It doesn't matter what the sun and the stars are doing. It's irrelevant. The fact is, water is level when contained and at rest. Water doesn't bend on the surface. The lakes here on Earth don't bend at 8 inches per mile squared or at any rate. So I don't need a model. I don't need to make assumptions about the luminaries. I don't need to make predictions about the luminaries to prove that the Earth is a level plane, or to debunk the globe Earth, in other words. That's for the weak-minded to get stuck in, you know. People that can't see the simplicity, you know, that's required to debunk the globe Earth and get stuck in these stupid ass rabbit holes of models and making predictions and shit like that. Like you're lost. You're chasing your tail, you know, and that's what it is. So I'm gonna assume that this person Campastro, I don't even know how to, I'll just call you Far. So I'm gonna assume Far, you believe the Earth is a globe? I'm happy to be wrong. None of you have shown it though. Basics are still basics. Curvature isn't measured in feet, for example. Curvature is not measured in feet. Okay. Yeah, you're right. It's not measured in feet or anything because it doesn't exist. The curvature is not measured in feet, inches, miles, or any metric system. You're right. The curvature is not measured in any metric system because it doesn't exist. So yeah, you can measure the curvature with any metric system. Rotation isn't measured in miles per hour. Same thing. Again, it's not measured in kilometers, miles per hour. It's not measured in distance over time. The rotation isn't measured in distance over time is because it doesn't exist. There's no measurement of the spin. So yeah, you're right. It isn't, the spin isn't measured because it's not there. That's the real reason. In your little brain, oh, it's not measured in miles, it's measured in this this other way that nobody knows, but it's there. But it is measurable, just not in miles or kilometers or any distance over time, or you know, it's measured in a way that we don't know yet, but it is measured. Is that your stance? Okay, this is the busy. Yeah, last time I could not find like the busy area. I was like just walking inside the school. There's like a little park at the center of the school. I even walk around that park, dead, literally dead. Like nobody's walking through there, nobody. So I was like, what the fuck? How is this school so dead? It's huge, you know? So it's just, again, you gotta find the right spots where students are walking back and forth. And I think I found it. So that's cool. Yet you say the globe Earth claims 8 inches per mile square for curvature and the Earth rotates. Yeah, by default that is a claim. If they're claiming a radius of 3,959 miles or anywhere, you know, around that number, by making that claim, your default claim also is that there is a curvature 8 inches per mile squared, which is required if you're claiming the radius of the Earth at that size. It's like it's a claim. You're claiming that by default by claiming the size, a certain size of the Earth. Like if you claim this, the Earth is a specific size, then geometrically you're claiming curvature at a certain rate based on the size you're claiming. It's a default claim. This guy's a fucking idiot. I don't know if he's like a troll or if he's actually serious. Like, it's pretty sad. Pretty sad. But yeah, it's a default claim. Just like if you claim the Earth is motionless, if you're a flat earther or if you're a glober, for example, an object in free fall, if you claim the Earth is a globe or flat and motionless, by default you're claiming that objects accelerate down in free fall. That's a default claim that comes with claiming the Earth is flat and motionless or a globe. It's a default claim. Again, you don't have to directly claim that, but by claiming, again, the Earth is flat and motionless or a globe, you're claiming that objects accelerate down in free fall indirectly. You're indirectly claiming that as well. You cannot claim one without the other. You know what I'm saying? So same thing with the curvature. You cannot claim the radius of the Earth be a certain size and then deny the curvature that comes with that radius. Can't, like, are you retarded or something? Like, I got this, like, I don't even know, like, I don't know if this is like a desperate attempt to, I don't know what the fuck this is. Like, it's fucking retarded. Like, I mean, all you're doing is highlighting how stupid you are. Again, nothing personal. Again, I'm not saying you're stupid, like, to hate on you. I'm just, based on your comments, like, obviously you didn't rationalize what you put. Otherwise, you wouldn't have put it. Like, it just doesn't make any sense, right? And again, I don't mean to call your names or anything, you know, but it's just, wow. This is what globers say. Their formulas, their scheme, their theories, and applying simple science to the globe disproves it, like no curved water. No, it's not the default claim. The claim is Earth curves at 1 degree per 69 miles. No need. Now you're talking about perspective. Like, you don't even know what you're talking about. We're talking about the physical curvature of the geometric ball they're claiming. You're talking about perspective, about navigation tools, and that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about perspective. Yes, there's 1 degree of drop every 69 miles, right? For nautical miles or statute miles, right? And 60 for nautical miles. Okay, that's all has to do with perspective. That has nothing to do with measuring the curve of the Earth. Again, this fucking idiot probably, again, I'm not trying to call your names, it's just fucking, just comes out. But this individual, you know, is just stuck on the visual proofs he's, you know, he's stuck in the false dichotomy of flat Earth versus globe Earth, where they're just looking at fucking stars and making assumptions about them. Oh, it dropped because of the curve. Oh, no, it dropped because perspective, and that proves the Earth is flat, apparently. And at the end of the day, visual observations doesn't prove anything at the end of the day. It doesn't prove anything. So, for flat Earth or globe Earth. So any flat earthers trying to use that as proof as well, as physical proof, they're morons. They're fucking morons. So anybody entertaining these fucking conversations, you know, about perspective and trying to use that as some proof of the shape of the earth, they're fucking morons. Whether globe earther or flat earther. Fucking morons. Just a quick heads up for anybody that's new to this, you know. Simply just looking at something doesn't prove anything. Okay? People need to get that drilled into their brains. Simply just looking at something, does not prove anything. Fact. Farscape, it's really simple. If you think Earth is a globe, then you're claiming matter accelerates down in free fall. Yeah, there is zero acceleration measured in free fall. Doesn't that make you think? Again, they don't even realize that by claiming the Earth is a globe, that, you know, objects accelerating down is a default claim. You have globe earthers and flat earthers trying to like go around that. Literally double speaking. Literally double speaking, like, no, you can't do that. If you claim the Earth is a globe or motionless, flat and motionless, then by default you claim objects accelerate down in free fall, which obviously they don't. Physically they don't. Provably they don't. It's just a visual interpretation that people have. You know. The entire scientific field of land surveying disagrees with you. If you can show me a different way to measure Earth, I'm all ears. Direct physical measurement of the surface of water. Oh, but the curvature cannot be measured in feet. Derp. Then they're gonna say that G-force or accelerometers don't detect the acceleration with force. Like, what? Force is not measured with acceleration in free fall. Even though force is measured here, you know, acceleration is a form of measuring force here on Earth, but in free fall, no, that's not how you measure force. Not with acceleration. No. Nope. William, anytime you want to have a conversation about this on live video, let me know. I'm in the Midwest. Fair enough. I'll keep that in mind. Farscape. Make sure you stay subscribed, right? Because I do have open panels. I do plan on doing those, you know, sometime in the future again. And I plan on doing them consistent, at least, you know, like once or twice a month at least, you know. So yeah, definitely could definitely have a chat live. But yeah. It was actually sprinkling a little bit when I first got here. The forecast didn't show any rain, so I was a little bit thrown off. Luckily, it looked like it wasn't gonna pick up, and it didn't. It actually it basically stopped. Yeah, I don't feel it anymore, but kind of got lucky there. If it would have started raining harder, then yeah, I would have probably just called it. I wouldn't have posted. But the gods have spoken. It made the rain go away. Let's do it soon. I'll keep an eye out and we'll see. Who knows what about what, my friend. Yeah, we will. They tell you that you don't know the basics while they can remember their quotes, mantras as well as you can. I know. The irony is that, you know, most of us here, you know more about the globe than globe earthers, you know, themselves, you know. It's like, it's pretty ironic, you know, how they're willing to defend tooth and nail an idea that they don't even comprehend. Like, if that doesn't show a cult mentality, cult behavior, you know, I don't know what will, you know. Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, hi. It's just you three? Yeah? You guys can do it together, yeah. Two very easy questions, multiple choice.
Wait, I'm gonna watch.
Okay, so yeah, basic physics, elementary physics. So I have 3 box trucks here. They're all on a level surface. They're all completely sealed, and they all have an apple hanging from the string. The only difference between these 3 box trucks is that one is at rest, one is accelerating forward, and one is accelerating in reverse. So out of these 3 box trucks, which one is at rest?
B.
Yes. How did you guys know?
Because it's staying still.
Yes.
Like
Pretty
still?
simple. Yeah. Which one's accelerating forward?
A.
This one.
Yes. How did you guys know?
It's like pushing it back.
Yeah, so the force is actually forward, but because the apple has inertia, it gets left behind. Yes, it stays in its position in space. So it didn't really swing back, it just got left behind. Yeah. All right, you guys got it. That's the first one.
Great, I'm scared.
So the second one is pretty similar, but instead of an apple, it's a helium balloon. So now it's a buoyant object. So out of these 3, which one is at rest?
B.
Yes, and it's for the same reason as the first. So which one's accelerating forward?
I'm gonna say A.
A? Would you guys agree with A or?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna help you guys out a little bit. So this is so this is a buoyant object, right? It represents the balloon because it's floating in water, just like the balloon is floating in air, right? So right now it's at rest. I'm gonna accelerate it and see what direction it goes.
Oh, okay. I understand.
Yeah. So okay. So back to this question: which one's accelerating forward?
C.
It is C. Now there is 2 reasons why that happens. Do you guys happen to know why? No. So the first reason is air is more dense than helium. So there's a density difference, right? The second reason is a force. So you need something to push the air to be able to push the helium. So that's what's happening. When I accelerate the truck in this direction, the truck pushes the air also, and then the air, because it's more dense than helium, is able to push it along with it. So same thing with water. The water is more dense than the ball. So when I accelerate the water this way, the water pushes the ball along with it.
That's so cool.
So yeah. So here, I actually recreated this experiment in real life, and it's both questions in one. So I want to see if you guys can get it. So it's just,
Oh God, good luck.
so it's a helium balloon and an apple. So did it accelerate to the right or to the left?
The right.
Oh, one to the left, one to the right.
No, I only accelerated in one direction.
You're going that way.
Yes, I'm going forward this way. Yeah, you got it. Because that's the direction the balloon got pushed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the apple got left behind. So here's one last bonus question. See if you guys can get it. So it looks like the balloon and the apple are moving away from each other, right?
Right.
But in reality, only one of those has true motion, and the other one has apparent motion. So only one is actually moving through space. So out of the apple and the helium balloon, which one is actually moving through
Fifth
space?
grader does not know this.
Oh, trust me, they do.
I don't
Once
think
you
so.
explain
I'm
it to
pretty sure
them.
I learned about this in like 8th grade.
No, no. Once
Is it the
I've had 6th graders.
I should know this.
I've had 6th graders answer them correctly.
Is it the balloon? Because you said that the apple is like just being left behind.
Yeah. So the balloon is actually experiencing the force.
Yay.
Yes.
Guys,
The balloon
look at the video,
actually,
you know.
the
She
apple.
is smarter than a 6th
Yeah.
grader.
So the
I'm sorry.
so the apple just got left behind.
Yeah.
So due to inertia, right? So the balloon has true motion, and the apple has apparent motion. So one last question before you guys go: if I have a helium balloon here on Earth and I release it, what direction does it go?
Up.
So there's 2 reasons why it goes up. Why does it go up?
Because it's like, it's going to, it's, I don't know. It's because the helium is like less dense
Okay, it
than
has to
air.
do with air pressure, but it's actually less dense than the air as well.
Yeah.
So helium is less dense than the air that surrounds it. And then the second reason, again, it has to do with air pressure, which has to do with a force. So the reason why helium is because of force. But here's the thing: you guys believe gravity, the force of the Earth, is a pull, right? The fact is, I don't know if you guys knew, the pulling force of the Earth is just a theory because it has never been proven or measured or detected. So it doesn't exist. In other words, just a theory. So the fact is, the force of the Earth is actually a push, not a pull. So right now, the Earth is not pulling you down towards it. It's the Earth pushing up against you right now. And that's what's pushing up the air, and that's why helium balloons go up. So when you release a helium balloon and an apple, the helium balloon has true motion because it's being pushed up, and the apple only has apparent motion because it's being left behind. And then the Earth crashes into the apple doesn't crash into the Earth. So the Earth is just like a giant elevator, and it's constantly pushing up against your feet. And that's why you feel the pressure under your feet. because you're not being pulled towards the earth. It's the earth pushing up against you. So that's the reality. So what does that mean, right? So you guys believe the earth is a ball, right?
Is it flat?
Not flat, but I'm gonna get there. So here, it's not a ball either though. Here's the thing. You guys understand that on a ball, up is relative. So if you're standing here, up is this way, but if you're standing down here, up is this way, right? And if you're standing here, up is that way. So in every direction away from the center is up on a ball. But if we could prove physically that the force of the earth is actually a push and not a pull, and buoyancy shows us that, how can the earth push up in every direction at the same time if it was a ball?
If it was expanding.
Yes, it would have to be expanding, which would just explode. It wouldn't work. So the fact is, the earth is just an extended level plane pushing up in one direction. So the earth is just a plane that's moving up in one direction. So we're all on the same level. So China's not underneath our feet, it's just across the way. Same thing with Australia. So nobody's bending underneath the ball. That's physically impossible. That doesn't exist. And the force of the earth being a push proves that the globe earth is impossible. You know. So if I was to ask you guys respectfully, why do you guys believe the earth is a ball?
Because I was told.
Okay, that's pretty honest. Yeah. So I would say that the heliocentric model, the ball earth belief, is the biggest religion on earth. Why? Because it's based on faith. Anything practical that has to do with physics or natural science shows that the globe earth is physically impossible. You know. So every measurement.
More oblong?
No, they say it is an oblate spheroid, but even if they claim an oblate spheroid, it has to have curvature. Now, do you guys happen to know the size of the earth they tell us? Like the dimensions of it, like how big it is?
We learned it with Morrison, but I don't remember.
Real quick before you guys go, I'll tell you guys. So they tell us the radius of the earth is 3,959 miles, which is the distance of the center to the outer circumference. And the circumference is 24,901. So that's what they tell us, right? So based using like Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, we can calculate for how much curvature there should be based on the size of the earth, and there should be 8 inches per mile squared, which means in the first mile it should be 8-inch curve, 2 miles it should be 32 inches, and by the third mile it should be 72 inches, which is 6 feet of curvature. So how do we measure for that to see if it's actually there, right? Very easy. If we went to a giant lake that was 3 miles across, filled with water, once the water's at rest and we build the level structure above that surface of water, the water's going to be parallel to anything horizontal above it, because when water's contained and at rest, the surface always forms an equal surface, which is level. That's what water level means. They're trying to tell us that water level means curve, that it actually bends. Every lake on earth is bending 8 inches per mile squared, but water doesn't have the physical ability to do that when it's contained and at rest. The surface always forms an equal horizontal surface. So this will be the number 2 proof to debunk the globe earth, is the fact that water shows that there is no curvature of the earth. So the oceans are level. You guys have heard of the term sea level? The term sea level? That means the oceans are horizontal. So there is no physical measurement of the earth. Again, water will be the number 2 proof to show that. And again, the fact that gravity is a push of the earth, not a pull, that's the number 1 proof to debunk the globe. So again, is there anything, any questions about this subject, or anything that you guys want to bring to the table that maybe proves the globe earth?
Probably not.
Because you believe the earth is a globe, right?
Like round?
Yeah, like a round sphere. Why do you believe that?
I mean, I don't know. There's
Everything's pulled to the center of Mars.
Are you saying you're like a flat earther?
No. Flat earth is not flat. The earth is a level plane, though. Yeah, because flat earthers are claiming the earth is motionless, which they completely deny the force of the earth. So the earth does exert a force, but it's a push, not a pull. So the earth is pushing up against your feet right now. It's not pulling you down towards it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's physically proven and measured. So I mean, why do you believe the earth is a globe?
Well, I mean, that's what I was taught in school.
Fair enough. Would you say that it's based on faith then? That you believe that it's a
On
globe?
faith, I mean, I trust my teachers. I hope they're not wrong.
You put trust, faith, tomato.
Sure, yeah.
So it's based on faith.
Sure.
All right. So scientifically,
Who are teaching you the right thing, not
yes,
the thing that they
exactly.
just think is right.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Tectonic plates fit in this theory?
Okay, so tectonic plates have nothing to do with physically measuring for curvature, so I actually don't know how tectonic plates work. So we can only theorize that there's a shift going on.
Tectonic plates are from convection under the surface.
Sure, that's what they tell us.
Well, if you don't have convection,
Well, that's what they claim, though. But if we actually had a physical measurement of the Earth done, for example, like a body of water, like a giant lake, the body of water will show that there is no curvature on the surface because water doesn't have the ability to do that.
yeah, at that scale, and it depends on the sensitivity.
Any scale.
It depends on the sensitivity of what you're using to measure.
Well, in 10 miles, there should be 66 feet of curvature based on the radius of the Earth, they tell us. So if we went to a 10-mile long lake, they're trying to tell us that the end of the lake is 66 feet below the starting point. That's a physical impossibility.
It's not though.
It is.
But also at the same time,
Pythagorean
you're
theorem?
saying that truth is irrelevant by saying that exactly what we're being taught is not the right thing.
Right. So the Pythagorean theorem.
Exactly, if you have to say it yourself.
Right. So the Pythagorean theorem, again, simple, using triangles to measure distances. You know, it's used in the real world all the time. So we're using it to measure the dip from this curve and the level. So that's because if it's a ball, it has to have curvature. It can't just go on straight forever if it's a ball, but it does. Yeah. All right. Take care. Yeah. Hi. You guys want to give this a shot?
Sure.
All right. Cool. So we'll start with the first one.
Can we put both of our brains together?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, definitely. So I have 3 box trucks here. Okay, they're all on a level surface. They're all completely sealed, and they all have an apple hanging from a string. The only difference between these 3 is that one is at rest, one is accelerating forward, and one is accelerating in reverse. So out of these 3, which one is at rest?
Is this a trick question?
No, it's not a trick question. B? Yeah, you guys got it. Why would you say B?
Because it's not moving.
It's not okay. Pretty simple. Pretty
Yeah.
straightforward. Yeah. Again, it's pretty simple. Okay, which one's accelerating forward?
A.
I would say C.
No. Do you think the truck's accelerating forward?
Because this one's at rest until it's acted upon by another horse, right?
But this one's going backwards.
No, it's being left behind.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, it is this one. This one's accelerating forward. So when you accelerate forward, the apple gets left behind. Yeah, you got it. Due to inertia. So yeah, you got it. Okay, that's the first one.
Good job.
The second one, pretty similar, but instead of an apple, it's a helium balloon. So now this is a buoyant object. So out of these 3, which one is at rest? B. You got it. And it's for the same reason as the first, right? Which one's accelerating forward?
A.
A.
Um,
So for this one, I have this for this reason. So this is a buoyant object, right? It represents the balloon inside this container because they're both floating, right? It's at rest right now, but I'm going to accelerate it, and I want you to pay attention what happens to the ball. See that? Okay, so going back to this question, which one's accelerating forward?
B?
C.
It's C.
Oh.
Yeah, the ball got pushed forward, actually. Yeah. So there's 2 reasons why that happens. Is the first reason is air is more dense than helium, and then the second reason is a force. So as soon as I apply a force with the truck in this direction, the truck pushes or forces the air in that same direction that's inside, and because air is more dense than helium, he's able to push it in the same direction the air was being pushed. So that's what a buoyant effect would be, you know. So here, I recreated this experiment in a cargo van in real life with an apple and a helium balloon. So it's both questions in one. Can you tell what direction I accelerated here? To the right or to the left?
The right.
Yeah. You got it? Because that's the direction the balloon got pushed, and then the apple just got left behind. Yeah, so here's a bonus question. It looks like the apple and the helium balloon are moving away from each other. That's what it looks like. But in reality, only one of those has true motion and the other one has apparent motion. So out of the apple and the helium balloon, which one is actually moving through space when they move apart?
The helium.
Yeah, the balloon got pushed forward and the apple just got left behind. So the apple didn't really move away from the balloon. It's the balloon that moved away from the apple. You got it. So yeah, so one last question before you guys go. If I have a helium balloon here on Earth and I release it, what direction does it go?
Up.
Yes, and there's 2 reasons why it goes up. Why do you think so?
Because air is more dense.
Dense in helium. Yes, that's the first reason. And what's the second reason? You need a force. So gravity, for example. So gravity, I know we've been told that gravity is a pull of the Earth, but I don't know if you guys knew gravity as a pulling force is just a theory. So it has never been measured or detected, so it doesn't exist, in other words. So the fact is the force of the Earth is a push. So you're not being pulled down towards the Earth, it's the Earth pushing up against you. And that upwards motion, that upwards push of the Earth is what's pushing up the air and then the air is able to push up helium balloons. So when you release an apple, it only appears to go down because it's the Earth that's coming up. So an apple only falls due to inertia because everything else is moving up. So right now we're moving up right now, we're being pushed up. So when you release something into free fall, again, it only has apparent motion down. There's no force pulling it down because it's us that are moving up. So that's the true force of the Earth is up, it's being pushed up. So here, before you guys go, this is a real reason why I'm doing this. You guys believe the Earth is a ball, right? So you guys understand that on a ball, up is relative. So if you're standing here, up is this way, but if you're standing down here, up is this way. In every direction away from the center is up on a ball, right? If we could prove physically that the force of the Earth is actually an upwards push and not a downwards pull, how can the Earth push up in every direction at the same time if it was a ball?
Because the force is coming from the core.
But the force that is coming from the core is pulling things down towards it, right? But if we could prove that it's the other way around, because buoyancy shows us that a balloon gets pushed up because it's being pushed up by the air, and then the air is also being pushed up by the Earth, how can the Earth push up or move up through space if it was a ball? That would mean the Earth will have to be expanding to be able to push up equally in every direction. It would just explode, it wouldn't work. So in order for people to believe in the ball Earth theory, they first have to believe in gravity being a pull of the Earth. Because if we could prove that it's actually a push of the Earth, then the whole globe Earth model falls apart. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't even work on paper. So the fact is, the Earth is just an extended level plane that's pushing up in one direction. So everybody's up is the same. So up is not relative. So China is not underneath your feet, it's just across the way. So everything is just across the way. And things appear to disappear over the curve because we have a limit of perspective. So we can't see forever. So when something goes beyond our perspective, people will claim that's the curve of the Earth, but it's not. It's just our limit of perspective because we can't see forever. You know? So if you get binoculars and you zoom in, you're able to see further straight in front of you because you're increasing your perspective. Same thing when you elevate. When you elevate, you increase your perspective and you're able to see further in front of you, not below you. You know, so the Earth never curves down. You know, that's physically impossible for the Earth to do that. So if I was to ask you guys respectfully, why do you guys believe the Earth is a ball?
I know there was an experiment that was done once where they shown a laser through
holes.
Yeah, holes, and then it passed through one but not the other.
Yes. Okay, I'm glad you brought that one up. So the reason why they're pushing laser experiments in the mainstream, in my opinion, there's even a Netflix documentary about it, but the reason why they're pushing those experiments is because they're going to be inconclusive. Why? What happens when you shine a laser through water, for example? Does it go straight?
No.
There's refraction, right? So the moisture that here, there's going to be always refraction. So when we're shining a laser through miles and miles of moisture, pretty much, we're going to get refraction. So the laser's not going to go straight. So there is a better experiment to show if there is curvature or not, actually. But before we do that, do you know the radius of the Earth?
Wait, so are you saying that you don't believe the Earth is a ball?
It's not. It's not a belief, it's a knowing.
Oh,
So I know the Earth is not a ball, you know. But here, the radius of the Earth is 3,959 miles.
So what do you think the Earth is?
The Earth is it's a level extended plane.
So it's flat.
So it's not flat, it's level. There's a big difference between level and flat. So flat basically describes a smooth surface, for example. It has nothing to do with orientation, right? Level has to do with orientation, which is perpendicular to the vertical force of the Earth. So in order for something to be level, it requires orientation, which requires a force. So flat earthers deny the force of the Earth. They're motionless flat earthers.
Okay.
So they claim the Earth is flat because they're done. The fact is the Earth is level because there is a force, but it's an upwards push, not a downwards pull. So that's the psyop. The whole flat Earth versus globe Earth, they're just both dumb. I hate to say it.
Wait,
yeah.
So how does this have to do with the are you smarter than us?
Well, understanding what's required for buoyancy, for example, a child can understand that the ball will always get pushed in the same direction the water is being pushed. So right now the ball is being pushed up, which means the water is being pushed up as well. But we don't really see that because we're within it. It's because we're all moving together. We don't really see that the water is being pushed up, but it is being pushed up. Because as soon as I put this into free fall, it's no longer connected to the Earth, that upwards push vanishes. So something that's in free fall doesn't experience an upwards push. You know, so that's just reality. So again, back to the curvature. Based on the radius that they're telling us the Earth is, there should be physical curvature of the Earth. And it turns out it should be 8 inches per mile squared. That means in the first mile, there should be an 8-inch curve. Second mile, 32 inches. And by the third mile, there should be 6 feet of curvature based on the radius. So how do we measure for that curve, right? There's a better way, better than lasers. So if we went out to a giant lake that was 3 miles across, filled with water, once that water is at rest, for example, and we build a level structure above that body of water, the surface of that water is going to be parallel to anything horizontal above it, because that's what water does when it's contained and at rest. The water takes the shape of the container, but the surface always equalizes and forms a level surface. That's what water level means. They're trying to tell us that every lake on Earth is bending 8 inches per mile squared, which is a physical impossibility for water to do that. So again, they're claiming a 6-foot drop in 3 miles of the surface of water, which again, water doesn't do that. Water has properties.
But what if it's the seafloor that's going deeper?
So that's the thing. When you have a container, it doesn't matter what the floor looks like. When you fill up that water is always even on the surface. So you could even tilt the container. The water's not going to tilt with it. The water's going to remain level.
Okay.
And when you tilt the container, because it doesn't matter what when you put a ball or a big rock under like a pool, the water level is just maybe going to rise a little bit. It's not going to display that rock on the surface. You know, it's like if I put a ball right here, the ball's not going to be displaced on the surface of the water. If I put a ball on the bottom. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It would just elevate the water level a little bit.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter what the terrain looks like. Again, the surface always collapses to form an equal surface. That's the physics of water.
Okay.
You know. So people do ask about that. Well, what about the bottom floor? Again, that wouldn't change anything, at least about the surface of water. Okay. Now, if we're measuring the land, because some people might say, oh, what if we measured land? Well, I would say the land is uneven. I would say we have mountains, we have hills, we have valleys. So the ground is definitely uneven. But since the earth is covered in water, we could measure water to see if it actually curves at the rate they're claiming. And the fact is it doesn't. So water has properties. So things that are, like, for example, I don't know if you guys knew, water cannot be compressed. So you know how if you have a cotton ball, you can compress it, right, to a smaller, you can compress rock, almost anything, right? Water cannot be compressed. So that's one of the properties of water. Another property is that when contained and at rest, is always level. So these are things, facts about our reality that cannot be denied or broken, you know. And the globe Earth claim directly contradicts this, our physics that that are here on Earth. So they want you to just believe an image that they show you on TV, which they admit is CGI, that is just composites, but they want you to believe that that's true and that your reality is lying to you.
Okay.
You know, but the reality is reality doesn't lie. People do.
Okay.
So human beings lie.
So what about the sun and the moon?
Yes. So when it comes to the luminaries, like the sun, the moon, and the stars, if we want to determine what the shape of the Earth is, talking about the stars or making assumptions about the stars or the moon and the lights is a red herring argument, because it's completely irrelevant because looking at the lights in the sky tells us nothing about the dimensions of the Earth.
But if the Earth is not globular, doesn't that mean that the moon is also not a globe as well?
So the sun and the moon, I would agree, there's circles in the sky. I wouldn't jump into the conclusion that there's spheres and they're physical just because they look like a circle. This is where the globe Earth comes in and just starts to make assumptions about what the luminaries are, because that's how they reinforce their model. It's just with explanations, which are basically assumptions to fit their model. If we go back to physics, the physics here on Earth that can be tested, proven, and repeated, that debunks the globe Earth. So talking about the lights in the sky, it's a red herring argument, because again, it's not a physical measurement of the Earth, just making assumptions.
Okay.
You know, about the sun. Does that make sense?
I'm not sure I agree.
Okay, so you think, like, because the moon is round. So if the moon was a triangle, for example, you would assume that the Earth is a triangle too?
I would say if the Earth is a triangle, then like...
No, you're saying if the moon is a circle, then the Earth must be a circle as well, right?
If the moon is a circle.
Or a sphere, because I would say it looks like a circle. I wouldn't say it's a sphere though.
Okay.
You believe it is a sphere though, right?
Oh, I do right now, but if you're arguing that the Earth is, let's say, a circle, then by that logic we would also need to conclude that the moon and sun are also circles and not globes.
I don't know what the shape of the Earth is. All I know is that the surface is level.
Okay.
So how far it extends, and if it makes a square on the surface or like a rectangle like this or a circle, I don't know. Okay. I don't know the how far it extends, you know, and the dimensions of that. But all I know is that it is a level plane pushing up. And another thing is that because we have air pressure here on Earth, that's how we're able to breathe. That tells me that the air is being maintained or contained. Okay. So they're telling us that gravity is holding the air from being rushed into space, right? Because they claim that outer space is negative, vacuum next to Earth's pressure, but the air doesn't rush into space because gravity is holding it, right? But that's retarded. I hate to say it.
Okay.
Gravity as a pulling force, again, is just a theory that has never been proven. It's just there to explain away these questions that people may have. But the fact is, the Earth is basically contained somehow.
Okay.
I wouldn't necessarily say a dome, but the Bible does talk about a dome covering the entire Earth.
Okay.
So I would say that the Earth is most likely being physically contained like that.
Okay.
So nobody's been outside of it.
Okay.
So the lights that we see in the sky, I would say they're just visual phenomena that are more like a rainbow. So you could see a rainbow, right? But if you move at a different angle, that rainbow disappears. So if you get closer to it, it disappears, right? The rainbow.
Oh.
It's just visual. It's not a physical thing, right? A rainbow, right? I would say the stars are more like similar to a rainbow.
Okay.
There's just, I don't know what's causing it, but they're definitely not terra firma or other Earth-like planets that are light years away and stuff like that.
Okay.
Again, those are just stories to reinforce the globe Earth model.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you affiliated with a church?
Oh no.
Okay.
I'm nothing against religion. You know, I respect people's beliefs in religion, but I'm completely against it. I don't follow any religion at all.
Okay, because you mentioned the Bible.
Yes.
So
Yes, I
I was
mentioned.
just wondering what denomination.
Yeah, I mentioned the Bible because they acknowledge that the Earth is a physically contained system.
Okay.
But I would say that just because they acknowledge that doesn't mean that their Bible is true.
Okay.
You
And
know?
isn't the globe technically also contained in some way?
How?
Like
Because if we're on the outside of the globe, how is it being contained?
Like the atmosphere and stuff?
Well, what's containing the atmosphere? Because the atmosphere requires containment.
Well, if we do assume that the Earth is a terrain, the same thing that is containing the terraneous Earth is containing the globular Earth. Could be argued.
What's containing the terrain is what you're saying? Yeah.
Because you said there might be a dome on top.
Yeah.
So what if there's like the same dome, but it's globe shaped around?
Fair enough.
globular
You
Earth?
could have a globe-shaped dome, but the if there would have to be a plane across,
Okay.
and we live on that plane. We don't live on the outside of that sphere. It just wouldn't work. Like
Okay.
we wouldn't. How would we get stuck to it? Again, you have to believe in gravity being a pull, which physics shows that it's a push.
Okay.
So you can't have a globe pushing up to say you stick to it.
Okay.
You know, and physics shows that. You know, I just go with what physics shows me. I don't go with what man tells me because men lie.
Okay.
You know, men do lie.
Okay.
Physics, you know, is what it is. It's about understanding. You know.
Okay. So do you think there's like an edge to the Earth?
No. So here's my thing. If you're inside of a box or a container, any container, right inside of it, can you fall off the edge of that box? No. Why? Because you're being contained, right? So
there's walls.
Yes, there's a wall. So
Okay.
the Earth has walls, in my opinion.
Okay. So
That's
we're
where the container touches down on Earth, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you don't believe in God?
Oh yeah, 100%. This is a
Okay.
creation, 100%. I don't buy
Okay.
into any idea of what that God is, though. That's where religions come in. So I
Okay.
acknowledge this is a creation. You gotta
Yeah.
be dumb to deny that. I used to deny that, so I was dumb. You know? But yeah, the fact is, this is a creation. So something can come from nothing. That's the first law of thermodynamics, which is pretty basic. Something can come from nothing. That's reality. Matter can only change from one form to another. You can't make matter appear from nothing. Like, it's just retarded. But that's what the Big Bang claims. You know, that's what the globe Earth, the heliocentrics claim.
Okay.
You know, I would say that's the biggest and dumbest religion on Earth, the heliocentric model of the Earth.
Okay.
You know, this is my opinion based on what I came across.
Interesting.
You know.
Do you have a website of any sort?
I do not, but I do have a YouTube channel you guys
Okay.
can check out. So here, you guys can take that with you. You guys can share it.
Okay, thank
And
you.
I appreciate the chat. You guys take care. Yeah.
I don't shake hands.
Oh, appreciate it. No worries.
Thank you.
All right,
Very
take care.
interesting.
Yeah. Thanks for the chat. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm trying not to like get dragged into these conversations about the sun and the lights, the stars and shit. Because I've noticed before, like, I try to avoid it, but somehow, like, I just get dragged into these fucking arguments about what the lights in the skies are. And trust me, I try to avoid it, but sometimes it's just like, fuck, I get dragged into them. Like, I don't know how, like, you know? So I feel like today I kind of like avoided that. I was kind of getting dragged into these conversations about the lights in the sky, but I literally just have to nip it in the bud. Like, I have to just, off the bat, like, say it's completely irrelevant. It tells us nothing about the shape of the Earth, making assumptions, especially about luminaries, you know? So I just need to get to the point and just address how it's irrelevant. And if you think it's not relevant, explain to me how it is. And how it's not an assumption. Because what the best they're gonna have is an assumption. Well, I assume that it's assumptions and being illogical, and it's assumptions and being unreasonable. So it's an assumption that the sun and the moon are spheres because we are looking at circles, right? And the stars too, right? It's an assumption that we're looking at spheres, and then it's unreasonable to say that because it is a sphere, now the Earth must be a sphere too. So not only is it unreasonable. What was the first one? Fuck, brain farting. It was an assumption. That's what it was. So not only was it an assumption, right, that because you see a circle now it's a sphere, but now it's also unreasonable to apply that logic to the Earth because the moon is I'm assuming it's a sphere. Now the Earth must be a sphere. So it's like it's so bad. Like it's just so bad. It's fucking crazy. Like yeah. Like it's crazy the mental gymnastics that people go through to just keep believing in the globe, you know. And I don't blame them personally, you know. I get it, you know. We all went through the same indoctrination. We all believed all this shit, you know. But god damn, it's crazy to see it from the outside in. Like the mental gymnastics is crazy, like literally crazy. But yeah, it's crazy when it comes to the lights in the sky. That's literally where it goes. It's people making assumptions about what they are and then applying that to somehow prove the Earth is a globe. So it's crazy. Chat for a bit. Because all of the fucking Farscape, all observation and tests show that it's a globe. The sun is perfect evidence. It would never set on a flat plane. Oh man, these are kind of funny, but like, fuck. I can only assume that you're either trolling or you're very new to this. It's one or the other.
I'm not gonna say anything. Hey, I have to write for my sister. Yeah. So.
The Bible say Earth is stationary. The Bible says a lot of crazy shit. Like if we're gonna go there, if we're gonna go with what the Bible says must be true, then the Bible says a lot of crazy shit that, you know, I can't even think of at the moment, but I remember hearing some crazy ass shit like, what the fuck? These people are fucking nuts. But yeah. Question to everyone. How many times have you tried breaching this subject with people in real life? Do you have an easier time getting through to strangers or relatives / close friends? I would say it's easier to get through strangers, in other words. Again, relatives and close friends. I mean, if you already mentioned it to them and it didn't interest them and didn't look into it further, then you're gonna be barking up the wrong tree at that point. So, and same thing with a lot of strangers too. The thing is that there's gonna be way more strangers than family members. You know what I'm saying? So even though I do talk to a lot of strangers that completely shut down quick, because I speak to a lot of strangers, I eventually come across strangers that are more open to it and are at least willing to listen, right? And at least try to understand the points I'm making, you know, and at least have a conversation, right? The reason, again, why you can't have that with family, I think, is mainly has to do with numbers, you know. Again, going out speaking to strangers, you're opening the door to speaking to thousands of people, you know, different millions even, depending on where you live. So the odds are you're gonna come across some people that are gonna be willing to have a conversation, are gonna be open to it, you know, opposed to, you know, just staying in your family group. Again, it's very limited, you know. So that's why I think, you know, that could be one of the reasons why it is harder to speak to family in general, you know. But yeah. You guys want to give it a quick try? Yeah. And let's do it together. All right, 1 second. YouTube. All right, so.
Where are we gonna be famous?
Maybe, right? All right, 3 box trucks. They're completely sealed. They're all on a level surface, and they all have an apple hanging from a string. The only difference between these 3 is that one is at rest, one is accelerating forward, and one is accelerating in reverse. So the apple is there to show you which one's which. Okay. So out of these 3, which one is at rest?
B.
Okay, you got it. Why would you say B?
Because the apple is
yeah, pretty easy. Which one's accelerating forward?
A.
Okay, how did you guys know A?
Because when you go back.
Yeah. So when the truck accelerates forward, the apple gets left behind because it has inertia. So
Signs is coming in.
All right, so the second one.
Oh, there's more.
It's pretty similar, but instead of an apple, is a helium balloon now. So out of these 3, which one is at rest?
B.
Yes, and it's for the same reason as the first.
Yes.
So which one's accelerating forward?
A.
Yeah. So for this one, I'm gonna help you guys real quick. So this is a buoyant object. So this ball represents the balloon because they're both floating. So it's at rest right now. Obviously, it's vertical, but I'm gonna accelerate it. Pay attention what happens to the ball.
Or
So-
how fast it works.
It's just because of acceleration. Yeah. So the buoyant object, it is C. Yeah. So the buoyant object cannot get left behind because the air is more dense than the balloon. So when the air is being forced in this direction, the air is able to push the helium balloon with it because it's more dense. So the apple, again, the air is not dense enough to push the apple, so the apple just gets left behind. So that's what's happening. So here, I recreated this experiment inside of a cargo van in real life. So I want to see if you guys can tell what direction I accelerated. So can you guys see it? There you go. So there's a balloon and an apple.
Can't see that part.
Oh yeah.
That means you're going forward, right?
So this way or this way? Right? Or this way? Right. All right, you guys got it.
That's great.
Okay, so one bonus question. So it looks like the apple and the helium balloon are moving away from each other, right? It looks like it, but in reality, only one of those has true motion and the other one has apparent motion. So that means that only one of those is actually moving away from the other. So out of the apple and the helium balloon, which one is actually moving?
The apple.
Balloon.
It's the balloon. Yeah. Yeah, you got it. So the reason why is because the balloon is actually being pushed forward when the truck accelerates. The apple is just being left behind. So so the apple has apparent motion and the balloon has true motion. So one last question before you guys go. If I have a helium balloon here on Earth and I release it, what direction does it go? Why does it go up? There's two reasons why.
Because helium.
Yes. Helium is less dense than air. Yes, that's the first reason. What's the second reason?
Nothing holding it down.
Well, I mean, sure, you can say that, but it is gravity. Yes, you got it. So here's the thing, though. I don't know if you guys knew gravity as a pulling force is just a theory because it has never been measured or detected. So the fact is the force of the Earth is a push, not a pull. So right now you're not being pulled down towards the Earth. It's the Earth pushing up against you, and that upwards push is what's pushing up the air, and that's why air is able to push up helium balloons. So because the force of the Earth is up. Again, when you release an apple in a helium balloon, the balloon has true motion up. The apple only has apparent motion because everything is moving up. So the apple doesn't crash into the Earth. It's the Earth that crashes into the apple. So that's the reality. So here, this is the real reason why I'm doing this. You guys believe the Earth is a ball, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys understand that on a ball, up is relative? So if you're standing here, up is this way for you, but if you're standing down here, up is this way. If you're standing here, up is that way, right? And every direction away from the center is up, right? If we could prove physically that the force of the Earth is not a pull and it's actually an upwards push, how can the Earth push up in every direction at the same time if it was a ball? Yes, it will be pushing outward, which will mean it will be expanding. It will just explode. It wouldn't work. So in order for people to believe in the ball Earth theory, they first have to believe in gravity being a pull of the Earth. Because if we could prove that it's actually a push of the Earth, and physics shows us that, then the whole globe Earth model will fall apart. That would be the #1 proof to debunk the globe, is the fact that gravity is a push, not a pull. So what does that mean? That means the Earth is just an extended level plane that's pushing up in one direction. So we're all on the same level. So China, Australia are not bending down a ball, they're just across the way. So we're all moving up in the same direction. And that proves that, so that's the #1 proof to debunk the globe. Again, the force of the Earth is an upwards motion, an upwards push. So again, this only looks like it goes down because everything else is moving up. So that's the reality.
But that's cool.
So yeah, the Earth is like an elevator, and gravity is that upwards motion of the Earth. That's why we're stuck to the Earth, because the Earth is constantly pushing up against us. So, yeah. So let me ask you guys this respectfully: why do you guys believe the Earth is a ball?
I've been told.
Because
Okay, that's
everybody tells us.
yes, that's the #1 reason. And basically,
Really not?
Because my mom told me that people that think that the Earth is flat are stupid.
they are
And I don't
actually.
wanna
So I'm
be-
gonna tell you this: over 95% of flat earthers right now on the internet, especially, are claiming the Earth is motionless. So they're claiming, they're
So
denying.
like it doesn't.
And where's their evidence?
They're saying that when you release an object, that this accelerates down to the Earth as well, just like the globe Earth, but there is no measurable force to detect that acceleration. The force, the measurable force on Earth is up. So
Great
buoyancy,
critical
yes.
also like
Talking about
atmosphere.
the atmosphere. So the atmosphere, the air pressure that we have here on Earth requires containment. So in my opinion, the fact that we have air pressure here and it's constant, it doesn't disperse, tells me that the Earth is being physically contained somehow by a solid barrier. They're claiming it's gravity holding the air in, but again, gravity as a pull is just a theory. They have that as an explanation to explain away a globe Earth. But the fact is that true physical proofs here on Earth prove that the globe Earth is impossible.
Could the Earth be affected if they think differently?
What do you mean?
Like if they don't think, if they think the world is like round or
Instead
like,
of level?
Yeah. Can it be affected?
Yeah. So I would say that you're talking about like, could we be affected?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. So I would say that believing the Earth is something that it's not, kind of like makes you kind of like puts you in a state where you don't even know who you are in a way.
Oh shit.
You get what I'm saying?
Identity crisis.
Yes, yes. So
ethical.
nobody's
It's
being themselves right now
ethical
because we
outside
all
of, like,
believe that
everyone.
we're someone we're not,
Yeah.
and we all believe the lifestyle that they present to us, where we have to work, pay taxes, all that. So all that's just a
all
human. It's all human construct. It's all just human constructs. Yeah. So we're living a lie, pretty much.
Oh wow.
That's what it comes down to.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have to make a change.
Pretty much. That's why I'm out here. Believe it or not, this is the #1 censored topic online by far. So there's no other topic that's come close to this. So
That
my
the
channel
Earth is round?
that the Earth is not round.
Oh.
So the whole flat Earth versus globe Earth is a psyop as well. So again, because it's flat Earthers are claiming bullshit as well. So they're no different than Democrats versus the Republicans. So they're both being controlled by the same people, pretty much. So it's a fake debate that they're having online. The whole globe Earth versus flat Earth, because they both claim that objects accelerate down. But the fact is the Earth that's pushing up.
They just think there's different
So that's where the fake flat Earthers are trying to derail from that. So I get a lot of hate from flat Earthers because I'm actually speaking truth. So I'm actually exposing.
Well, haters are gonna
both.
hate you. So.
Yeah.
That too.
They're just jealous.
No, yeah, that too. But yeah, I'm exposing both of them pretty much as bullshitters. And
Oh, yeah.
trust me, I have no support from anyone. I'm doing this by myself.
We support you.
Appreciate that.
Wait, what's your channel? We'll follow
Yeah.
you.
Oh yeah. So let me give you my channel. So any
Oh,
questions
yeah,
before you guys
I have
go?
a favor for you to support
Okay.
another channel.
Fair enough. So yeah, let me give you my
He just
channel.
doesn't want the paper.
Here, I'll give you guys one each. I have
Thank
plenty.
you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So in there are the top 6 proofs that debunk the globe Earth physically, on top of the #1 that is gravity is a push, not a pull.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay,
Wow,
thank
thank
Yeah,
you.
so you guys have a good
I hope that you see yourself viral.
No, I'm doing this by
Yeah,
myself.
I hope we become
Yeah, we're
viral.
gonna go
Thank
viral.
you.
Oh, maybe.
I hope
Hopefully.
you go viral.
Right?
We support
Yeah.
us. Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. You guys take care. All right. That was actually a really good conversation. Really good conversation. Like their reaction, like it literally, like it made perfect sense to them. Like the way it looked, the way they looked. Like it was a really good conversation. Like they were actually listening, you know. And at least, and they were being honest too. Like, why do you believe the global? Because that's what I was told. And again, at the end of the day, that's the most honest answer you can give, you know. It's just what I was told, right? Because when you start saying, oh, because of gravity or because of pictures of the Earth, right? You're not being honest. You're placing faith in someone else, in someone else's work, you know, that these images are real or whatever they're claiming, right? The honest answer would be, I don't know, or that's just what I was told, right? You know, but again, some people do have this idea that, you know, in gravity, for example, being a pull, and they're just stuck, that they're not going to be able to see anything that contradicts that. Anything that contradicts that belief, if people have a strong bias, they're not going to be able to see through it or see past it, you know. So it looked like, you know, obviously this group of young women obviously didn't have a bias, you know, and that's obvious by the fact that they're actually listening, you know. But yeah, most people do have a bias, and most people do kind of like reject it in a sense where they don't even want to hear about it anymore. They're just like trying to get away or walk away, right? Because again, it's kind of like the programming. Anything that goes against your core belief, you're gonna go against. You know, it's kind of like a defense mechanism. You know. And this is with any religion, you know. We've seen this with Christians. We've seen this with Muslims. You know, when you show them something that contradicts their religion or their belief, they become very defensive, to the point where sometimes they could even get violent. You know, and why? Because they're not listening, they're not reasoning. You know, they're just stuck, you know, on tunnel vision, trying to, you know, eradicate you now, and you're the enemy, and it's a battle against you now. You know, again, most people that are just religious and just believe everything have no like reason, no reasoning skills, I guess you could say, in a way. But and then again, they just act very cult-like, you know. Well, they'll defend their belief tooth and nail with no real logic or reason. Again. So again, just some of the most unreasonable people you'll meet. Again, cult members. So, yeah, this has been a really good spot. It was cool. Gonna wait probably like 10 or 15 more minutes, see if I could get one more. If not, we're gonna go ahead and call it. Just notice there's like a booth. Make sure you guys can see it. Oh, you guys can't see it. Yeah, there's like a booth and another table set up over there. So I guess this is the area. Usually where you see booths being posted is usually where there's the most traffic, the most foot traffic. So the fact that they have a tent posted right there, it shows that I'm at the right place. Well, I'm in the right spot, I guess. Dude, you look familiar, yeah.
You were on UCLA
Yes.
3 months ago. I remember you. It was wonderful seeing you again.
Nice to see you too. You do look
Holy
familiar.
shit.
So
I was with the Filipino man. We were talking about flat Earth.
yes.
I brought up 9/11 multiple times.
Yes, I remember now.
How are you doing,
I'm
man?
doing good, man. Yeah. It's my second time here, actually. I haven't came here often. You come here or you go to UCLA? What do you?
I go to UCLA. I was in UCLA for a summer research thing.
Oh.
I study here primarily.
Oh, I see. Oh man, it's a small world. Yeah.
How's the activity been today?
It's been actually really good. I had
Really?
like 4 conversations already, pretty good ones. Yeah.
All
It's
Asian,
been-
or what's the diversity looking like?
Actually, I did have a couple Asian guys. I mean, yeah, it's it's mainly a mix of everything, kind of. Yeah. Not a lot of like Indian people, I guess, or Hindu people.
Yeah.
At UCR, there's like way more. You know?
Really?
I would. Yeah.
Yeah.
What ethnicity are you? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm a Hispanic.
Hispanic. Oh,
Yeah,
really?
Salvadorian, Mexican, in that
Oh.
order.
Oh.
Yeah.
Crazy. I'm Mexican too, so.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell.
No, yeah. No, for you, I couldn't really tell. Like,
Really?
I've seen like Middle East. You kind of look a little bit Middle Eastern, low-key. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, people used to shout at me actually for that when I was in high school. When I was in Almada,
Really?
but
Oh.
like, oh, what's up, Eric Mahmoud? I'm
Oh
like, "All right, bro."
my god. Yeah, I see. No, yeah, you kind of do like.
You kind of have that too a little bit. I think it's the nose. It's
Yeah.
the nose thing we got, where it's
Yeah.
a little more like, you know.
Yeah, profound. I've gotten that before.
You ever watch like The Sopranos? It's a TV show.
Oh no. Yeah.
It's a character called Chrissy. He has a big ass nose too, and he
Yeah.
looks like crazy Middle Eastern.
I see. So I mean, so you still believe in the globe, right?
I'm a glober.
Yeah.
You could
so,
say that.
So what keeps you married to the globe, I guess, or?
I'm gonna kind of pick up from last time. 'Cause I remember it vividly. It was actually really nice talking to you.
Yeah.
I think it's the idea of why lie to this extent. It's so extensive to cover this up at a global level. This isn't even attached to a singular government. This is a globe wide. You have multiple countries actively at war, communicating like, all right, don't tell them about this stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So your belief, I guess, is stemmed from your
Pragmatic.
idea that this is too big of a lie
Yeah.
for them to be able to like work together to get away with.
Yes. Exactly.
So it's not rooted in nothing physical or scientific. In other words, it's
Yeah.
just based on your belief that it just couldn't happen, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And the reason I argue this way, because
Yeah.
I'm not going to kid you, right? I'm not a physics major.
Sure.
I'm a computer science major, strictly pure mathematics. I'm not even an engineer.
Sure, fair enough.
So I can't argue in these points that are more rooted in scientific principles. You know, I'm a citizen of the world, right? And I think, given the current state of affairs and how things are kind of, how information is kind of withheld or opened, something at this scale, it's not possible. You couldn't do it.
Fair enough. Now, could you argue, let's say hypothetically, there's a magician, right?
Okay.
He makes a rabbit disappear from a hat.
Yeah.
He claims he sent the rabbit to another dimension, right? It literally
Yeah.
disappeared from this earth.
Yes.
And then he makes it appear again. He claims that he made it appear from another dimension as well. He
Yeah.
made it reappear into this earth. Now,
Yeah.
I can argue that he's bullshitting and it's just a trick. That
Yeah.
rabbit never left this realm.
Yeah.
You know, you did a trick where you were able to conceal him. Now,
Yeah.
I can argue from that stance because I understand basic physics. I understand that it's physically impossible to make just something disappear from nothing.
Yeah.
And also to make it appear from nothing.
Yeah.
So even though I'm not an expert, a scientific expert, a physics expert,
Yeah.
basic physics tells me that that's bullshit, that you cannot do that. It had to be a trick.
Yeah.
100%. Would you agree with me?
I would. But again, that's maybe. I'll let you continue.
What I'm gaining at is that we understand basic physics. We get impressed when a magician does a trick because we know that's impossible. So we're just like, holy shit, how did he do it?
Yeah.
Because it's possible to do that, right? Because we understand physics, and some things defy physics, and that's what magicians do. They defy physics, but they don't really defy physics. It's just playing on our perception.
Yeah.
And that's why they use a lot of things to cover what they're doing, you know, just to give the illusion that they're actually doing magic, right?
Right.
My point is, of all that, is that the globe Earth is no different. They're making claims that are physically impossible that I can test for myself. I don't need to be an expert, and that's why I have Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
Right.
Because a fifth grader can understand the basic principles that are required to debunk the globe Earth. For example, water being level when contained and at rest.
Yeah.
That's a physical fact of my reality and my personal experience that I can test, observe, and repeat every day. Now I have people telling me that, no, you're wrong. Physics doesn't behave this way. It actually does this at a bigger scale. Now I'm having to throw away my knowing for a belief, which I think it's no different than believing the magician actually made the bunny disappear.
But I feel like there's some cognitive dissonance there, where they do bring up a very strong argument of these these truths of like the physics principles or any type of principles do change at a
Can you
greater
give me
scale.
give me an example of these principles that change?
And that's, again, let me go back to the other thing. I'm not a physics major, but you are arguing the point like, well, they say at a bigger scale it doesn't apply exactly the same, and you just say, no, well, that's weird. Okay. Right.
But here's the physics that they're trying to tell me that happens at a bigger scale. It's like, obviously we understand humans cannot walk through walls, right? That's physically impossible. You cannot walk through walls without breaking.
Yeah, well, actually, there is like a very niche phenomenon where it's theoretically possible, it will never happen. Where what's it called?
The molecules can separate and go through the other molecules.
The space in between them perfectly meshes. Theoretically possible. Realistically, will never happen.
I could see how someone can imagine that. I can imagine a lot of things.
It's strictly theoretical.
I can imagine.
We can't say it's true or not.
I can imagine breathing water and being able to live in the ocean.
Well, that's not true though. There's like a foundational principle of the idea that there is some very minute space between the molecules, and that hypothetically, if they were to perfectly match up.
But you believe what they're telling you.
I believe it's
hypothetical to lead up to this.
There is some theoretical reasoning behind it. It's not coming out of nowhere.
This is not even a theory.
But with the water breathing thing, you're just saying that, right? Like, okay, but what's your logic behind it?
Well, there's oxygen in water, so technically there's little space in between the water molecules. We are able to somehow breathe in. I could give you an explanation. My point is, it's physically impossible. So, based on that knowledge, anyone claiming the opposite of that, to me, is just bullshit. You don't need to be an expert to understand, for example, that the globe is physically impossible. So another thing is buoyancy. Matter cannot move by itself, or can it? No, it requires something external to move matter, especially inanimate matter, like a rock. If it's just a rock sitting there, the rock cannot get up and move by itself, right? If it moves, it requires something external to move it. Would you agree, right? So a buoyant object, for example, like a helium balloon rising, is being pushed by the air because the air is more dense. Now, just like helium, it cannot push itself. It requires something external to push it. The air is no different. The air cannot push itself. So in order for the air to be able to push up a helium, or in any direction, the air also has to be pushed in that same direction that is pushing the helium.
This might be revealing my ignorance. But I thought the idea with helium pushing up a balloon is less so it's not being dragged down enough by
the pulling force of gravity. That theory.
And as well because it's lighter than the surroundings. Like a more direct example is you have like a cork. It's a very airy material, large surface area, lighter than the water surrounding it, so it naturally rises to the top.
So naturally, this is where...
You could say the same when you have a bunch of spices in a spice mix. The larger...
What do you mean it naturally rises? What does natural mean?
When you sift like a spice mix, the more fine-grained...
No, I understand that something that's more dense than water will go to the bottom of the cup or whatever, and something that's less dense than water will get pushed to the top. We experience a motion vector. So of lighter objects going up and heavier objects coming down. So how do we create this environment where we have this motion vector? What kind of force do we use to recreate this environment?
I remember you said something about like a truck or something.
A container that's in motion.
A truck.
So a container, the Earth being that container, pushing up on you is what will give you all the effects that we experience here on Earth. It will give you your weight. It will give you a direction of up and down. It will give you buoyancy. It will give you air pressure. It will give you a pressure gradient, a density gradient. Everything that we experience here on Earth will be we recreate it with a container that's in motion. So now you're thinking that, okay, the Earth is not a container, it's a globe, and we're outside of that globe. So how can we recreate that to prove that, okay, that is possible?
I would say this, again, maybe this is because I work in like statistics, but I think it's a little, again, facetious to say, like the small level play example is truly representative of our Earth, right? There's, as you scale up, you get more and more and more external variables that come at play. If you try to isolate it to such a small event that you could do realistically at any time, it's not like to say you were exactly wrong, but I think it's maybe not the strongest reasoning point here, right? Because there's a lot of like cute tricks you can do. I don't want to say it that way. There's a lot of like ways you can kind of play with certain principles to see something interesting, but it doesn't mean it's exactly true. Again, statistics standpoint, it is a very common saying, torture the data enough it can tell you anything. Right, where you do the perfect setup, you exhaust certain what's it called? You cut off certain high values until you have this perfect data set which can tell you what you want to hear. Right. The reason why I say this is I think what I'm trying to get at much earlier is this appeal to authority, not to a singular authority, but a grand scale authority of multiple people.
Consensus authority.
A consensus of authority, which I think is what we only could reasonably listen to given such the scale of this problem.
Let me tell you this now, if we had a consensus, not just the magician claiming that he did make that rabbit disappear into another dimension and then made it reappear again, he literally did that. If you have a consensus saying that it is true, would you believe it now? We'll say it's mainstream.
Mainstream as in almost like 99% of reputable sources?
Sure. We'll say all the reputable scientific sources that you will believe it, right? I would say.
Again, I feel like it's a very facetious example.
I mean,
because it is, okay, I get what you're trying to say, but this is more immediately provable. That's kind of the issue here. This is much more immediately, because the scale of this rabbit is, it can fit in my palm, right? That's what I'm trying to get at
Well, the
here.
scale of what's required for buoyancy, it's just literally this container. So literally this representation of how to create buoyancy debunks the globe Earth, because in order for the air to be able to push a helium balloon in any direction, the air also has to be moving or being forced in that same direction. That's just fact. In order for air to be able to push a helium balloon in any direction, the air also has to be forced or pushed in that same direction. Does that make sense?
No, not exactly.
Okay.
Again, I go back to the buoyancy of the example. We have like a cork.
No. My point is that, you know how, for example, this example, right? The helium balloon, right? In order for the balloon to make this helium balloon inside of the container lean forward like that. Obviously, without using a fan inside, just using force of the truck. The only way to do that, to change the position of the balloon, is to be able to push the air first. And then the air, even if you use the fan, the fan pushes the air, and then the air pushes the helium. So the helium will always move in the same direction that air is being moved, because air is more dense than helium. But you require a force to move the gases. The gases can't move themselves, right? So the air has to move in the same direction the helium gets moved, because otherwise it wouldn't work. If the air is being pushed this way, the air can't push the helium this way if the air is being pushed this way. That's retarded. But they want you to believe that that's what's happening. Gravity is forcing the air down, but then the air is able to push helium up. That's retarded. That's like claiming that's claiming this is accelerating forward. That defies physics. It's that simple. But I mean, I get it. You choose to believe the globe Earth, and you choose to believe the consensus, and I respect that. As long as you acknowledge that it's a belief and it's not rooted in physics. Okay.
I think that's fair to say. Where it's a little obnoxious to be like a lot of like really snobby guys are like, oh, well, the science says. Like, well, these science is based in their own practices, right? And there's always going to be considerations. If you ever read the papers, there's always going to be a huge section that says considerations and shortcomings.
Sure.
They wouldn't say shortcomings, they make it sound nicer.
Fair enough.
Right. But I will agree on that. Right? There is a faith aspect as much as you want to, go forward with that.
Fair enough. I mean, as long as you can acknowledge that it is faith-based, I respect that, because a lot of people will just be stuck in thinking that they have the facts. You at least acknowledge it's based on consensus, and you just believe it because it's just you just can't comprehend how big of a lie it could be, which I get it. But again, as long as you admit that it's not based in physics, then I have nothing to say.
I will say it's based in physics proven by people who are not me, and I have not put any effort at all to look
Fair
into
enough,
it.
fair enough. And if you did look into it, you'll quickly realize that a globe has no physics whatsoever. So you just believe that it does, but if you look into it further,
I would say
you'll
the
realize...
same way that you believe that it does. Again, with you...
But I
you
put
have-
the time in.
you
You
have
haven't.
to, and so have other scientists, though. Right?
Yeah, but I would say
You know,
that...
you guys, if you want to be as like, you know, if you want to go that far, you're on the same status as these onboard scientists.
Fair enough. But what I'm saying could be replicated and repeated and proven by anyone. What they're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
What I'm saying can be put through the scientific method.
Yeah.
What they're saying cannot.
Yeah.
You just have to believe me. That's their stance. Just believe me. So, yeah. All right. Appreciate it, man.
When I
Any-
graduate, I'll look into it, man.
Definitely, man.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'll see you again. I'll get my
Yeah.
master's UCI.
Fair enough. Appreciate
Yeah.
the chat again, man.
But
All right.
no, man, I gotta ask you one last thing,
Yes.
though.
Yes.
And I asked you this last time, but I feel like you didn't play ball with me.
Okay. What's the question?
Why do you think they would lie like this, right? What's the method? You said last time where it's this idea of if you can get them to believe this, what else can you get them to believe? Let's get to that second portion. What is that? What else can you get them to believe? I really think that's much more interesting than what we're talking about right now.
No, I don't think so because
What?
the root of our existence
What?
is rooted on the place we live. So if you believe you're somewhere you're not, then
Yes.
you're gonna believe you're someone you're not as well.
But what I'm saying, okay, that's maybe some type of cause. Where if I have this glober fallacy that I get everyone to hop onto, you're saying there's some effect. What effect are you trying to get at?
So the
I
effe-
think that's really interesting. I
So
wanna
that
hear
yeah. So I mean, the effect is basically you giving away your authority to someone else to control your life for you
Yes.
because you think they're smarter than you.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
So they basically dumb us down with this lie because
Yeah.
if you're willing to deny your common sense and intuition
Yes.
over what someone else is telling you, that tells me that you're not thinking for yourself.
Yeah.
So you're basically just gonna again give your authority to someone else to tell you how to live and what to do and
Yeah.
and it's basically control. That's why they do it. It's for control.
I agree completely, but I want to dig a little further, and I feel like you always kind of avoid this. What do they do with this control? Like, what do you have in mind that's saying, with this kind of catteledom of the general populace, what is their gain here?
So the ultimate gain, again, I'm not the one lying, so I couldn't tell you what the ultimate gain is. Obviously,
What do you
that's
think
it.
the ultimate
So
gain is?
I could tell you again. Do you like? I mean, I don't even have to ask you this. This is common knowledge. Nobody likes to wake up early as fuck in the morning to go to work at 9 to 5 type of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No. You know, we built the roads. You know, obviously not me, but as a collective, humans. You know, we build everything for the people. So it's a 1% controlling the 99%. You're saying why would they do that? What do they benefit? Well, they benefit a life of luxury. They don't work a day in their life.
Yes.
We do all the work for them.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're saying is what advantage do they have? Well, they have everything, and we
Yeah.
have nothing. So that's the big picture, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Yeah, but we can't get there and try to change that if we still believe in the globe Earth. It's like if you still believe in Santa Claus and you're trying to make a change that could help the world while you still believe in Santa Claus. It's like kind of dumb, in my opinion.
Yeah.
No offense, but that's why it matters because our whole lives are being affected.
I do value that. I will say this. I value that you said that, right? Because I think there is genuine truth to it. I have maybe more out there beliefs that are not related to global Earth because I'm a little more invested, let's say. But I think there is a shared desire. Talk to anyone over the age of 40, there's almost this, they cannot get that dick out of their mouth. Like they love the idea of the billionaire saving us. They're a billionaire because they're so hyper intelligent. A family member of mine, they're really in love with Elon, and he really believes. I'm sorry, bro. I hope he doesn't see this. But he really truly believes he's the one who's building the Neuralink. He's the one building the rockets themselves. It's like he's so deep into kind of this mental reconstruction he can pass through, largely through like TV, news sources, Fox News, these type of. I'm saying right leaning right now, but it's political agnostic.
Fair enough.
But no, I agree with you. I will say that. Right. I do think there's genuine game. It's just there's so
many distractions. That's what it is. Trust me. I can see how it is. I see how it is.
I don't know. I'll get back to you in 2 years, man.
Fair enough, man.
I'll get back to you in 2 years. It was wonderful seeing you again.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do my left hand. My right hand's greasy, to be honest.
Fair enough, man. All right.
Have a great day.
Appreciate it, man. You too, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you stopping
Of course.
and talking.
I hope you get more interesting people than me.
No, yeah. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. So, I'm gonna start packing now. I think this camera died. Oh no, it didn't. That's cool. Yeah, I remember. I don't know. I thought it was at UCR though. He said UCLA. So yeah, I remember talking to him. That was cool. All right. What time is it right now? 12:30. Yeah, it's a huge crowd of students passing, but it's gonna be it. Start packing it up. You guys want to give it a shot?
Sure.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Exciting.
I'll do one more.
If you're looking for people.
Sure. We'll do one more. I was already going to call it, but I'll do one more. Yeah. Do the last one. Okay, so 2 very easy questions.
Oh, no.
Yeah, multiple choice. Make them easy. All right. So here I have 3 box trucks. They're all on a level surface. They're completely sealed, and they all have an apple hanging from a string. The only difference between these 3 trucks is that one is at rest, one is accelerating forward, and one is accelerating in reverse. So out of these 3, which one is at rest?
Like the truck isn't moving?
Yeah, which truck is at rest? Which one's not moving?
Why do I feel like this is a trick question?
It's just the middle one. I mean, it's always been moving?
No,
I mean,
it's always been steady.
It's just the middle.
Yeah, it is. What would you say the middle one though?
Because the apple, I mean, the trucks are all equal. The apple's the same.
Yeah, the apple's not swinging or moving, pretty much. Yeah, so yeah, it is B. Which one's accelerating forward?
A.
How did you know A is accelerating forward?
When you, the truck moves, but the apple stays in the same place for a few seconds before trying to level out. So here's the truck moving forward, the apple gets left behind.
Yes, you got it. Due to inertia, the apple gets left behind and the whole truck moves forward. Yeah, you got it. All right, second one, pretty similar, but instead of an apple, is a helium balloon. So out of these 3, which one is at rest?
B.
Yeah, it's for the same reason as the first. It's not moving, right?
Yeah.
Which one's accelerating forward? Here, I'll help you guys out a little bit. So this is a buoyant object, no different than the balloon. So this represents the balloon because they're both buoyant, right? Right now it's at rest. I'm gonna accelerate it and I want you to pay attention to what happens to the ball.
Oh.
Okay.
So C is when it's accelerating.
Yes, C is the one accelerating forward.
Wow.
So there is 2 reasons why this happens. Do you guys happen to know why?
No, I didn't like physics.
Yeah.
So the first reason is air is more dense than helium. So that's the first reason, right? And the second reason is a force. So as soon as I apply the force in this direction, all of the air that's inside of the truck is also being forced in that same direction through space. And because air is more dense than helium, is able to push it along with it. So the helium is experiencing a push, a force. The apple is not, it's just being left behind, right? So here, I recreated this experiment inside of a cargo van in real life.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I want to see if you guys can tell. So this is both questions in one. So what direction did it accelerate here? Right or left?
Well,
right.
The
balloon?
you mean the truck?
Yeah, what direction did it accelerate this van or this truck? This way, right?
Yes.
Yes, that's the direction the balloon got pushed. So yeah, that's the direction that it moved. And then the apple got left behind. So here's a bonus question. So when you're inside the cargo van, right, it looks like the balloon and the apple are moving away from each other, right? That's what it looks like. But in reality, only one of those has true motion and the other one has apparent motion. So only one actually moved through space. So out of the apple and the helium balloon, which one actually moved through space?
The apple just stayed in place.
Yes.
So the balloon is the one that's
moving through space. Yeah, so the balloon got pushed forward and the apple got left behind. So the apple only has apparent motion and the balloon has true motion. So that's what's happening. So here, one last question before you guys go. If I have a helium balloon here on Earth and I release it, what direction does it go?
It goes up.
Yes, there's 2 reasons why it goes up. Why do you guys think it goes up?
it has something to do with density.
Yes, so air is more dense than helium. That's the first reason. What's the second reason?
Well,
This determines the direction of the balloon because the balloon doesn't go left, it doesn't go right, and it doesn't go down. It goes up. So the air is being more dense than helium, but it pushes it up. Why up? Why does the air push it up? Why not left? Why not right?
It's got something to do with gravity, but
yes, it does have to do with gravity.
Density also comes in place because if not, it would just.
Yeah, so here's the fact. I don't know if you guys knew, gravity as a pulling force has never been actually measured or detected. That's why it's just a theory. So the fact is the force of the earth is not a pull, it's a push. So right now, you're not being pulled down towards the earth, it's the earth pushing up against you. And that upwards push of the earth is what's pushing up the air, and that's why helium balloons go up. Because the helium is being pushed by the air, and the air is being pushed up by the earth. So that's the reality. So here, this is the real reason why I'm doing this. You guys believe the earth is a ball, right?
Yes.
You guys understand that on a ball, up is relative. So if you're standing here, up is that way, but if you're standing down here, up is this way.
Yeah.
In every direction away from the center is up. If we could prove physically that gravity is not a pull of the earth and in fact is a push of the earth, and buoyancy shows us that, how can the earth push up in every direction at the same time if it was a ball?
It would have to expand.
Yes, it would have to expand, which it just explode, it wouldn't work. So the fact is the earth is just an extended level plane, and we're all standing on top of it, and it's pushing up in one direction. So the earth is only moving up in one direction, and that's our up. So everybody's up is the same, not relative. So China and Australia are not bending around a ball underneath your feet. Everybody's just across the way. So that's the reality. So the number one proof to debunk the globe earth is the fact that gravity is a push, upwards push of the earth, not a downwards pull. And physics shows us that buoyancy. So if I was to ask you guys respectfully, why do you guys believe the earth is a ball?
Well,
NASA images, would you say? Images from NASA, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough. So here, let me show you a couple of images I have from NASA. So let me just show you these real quick. So these are official NASA images. This one's from 2002 and this one's from 2012. But the point of this is that they admit that they don't take real photographs of the Earth. So these are all CGI. They're composites. So it's basically a cartoon. So all the images that they're showing us of the Earth from outer space as a ball are all fake. They're all just cartoons. And they admit it. So here's the thing. The only place you're ever going to see curvature of the Earth is through CGI images like this or through GoPro cameras. That, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the fisheye lens, the wide angle lens. It warps, you know, an image. So when you use a GoPro or action camera and you go to very high altitude, it's a lens effect that curves the horizon. Because in reality, this is what the horizon looks like. When you go up like 20 miles, the horizon is horizontal all the time. There is no curve. You only see curvature through CGI images or through GoPro lenses or action cameras. The fact is, again, Earth doesn't have physical curvature.
Is that just like a lamp in the sky?
Yeah, it could be. It's just a light bulb. Not a light bulb, but it could be just a light source.
How do you explain rotation and orbit?
Okay, so orbit is just a theory that's based on the theory of gravity. So they're claiming that the sun doesn't move above the Earth. They're claiming that we're spinning, right, and moving around the sun. So all of that is just theoretical. So everything about outer space, for example, is just theories to back up the heliocentric model, the globe Earth model, because physically here on Earth, the globe Earth falls apart. So there is no physical measurement of the Earth as well. All the measurements here on Earth show there is no curvature. So do you guys happen to know the radius of the Earth by any chance? So real quick before you guys go. So the radius of the Earth, they tell us, is 3,959 miles. That's the distance from the center to the outer circumference, right? The radius. So using a simple calculation like the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, we can calculate for how much curvature there should be every mile. And every mile that curvature has to increase to make a ball. It turns out that there should be 8 inches per mile squared. What that means, in the first mile, there should be an 8-inch curve, second mile 32 inches, and by the third mile there should be 6 feet of measurable curve. And in 10 miles there should be 66 feet. That's like a 6-story building in 10 miles. How do we measure for that curve to see if it's actually there, right? Very easy. If we went out to a giant lake that was 3 miles across at least and filled with water, once that water's at rest and we build a level structure above the body of water, the water is going to be parallel to anything horizontal above it, because when water is contained and at rest, water takes the shape of the container, but the surface always collapses to form an equal surface, which is level. That's what water level means. They're trying to tell us that water level means curve, that every lake on Earth is bending 8 inches per mile squared, which is physically impossible for water to do that, especially on a lake. They want to make you believe that a lake has a 66-foot hump in 10 miles.
Well, they did an experiment one time, and they they did conclude that it's not.
You're talking about a measurement using lasers? Or what experiment are you talking about?
No, they used a stick. They used the measurement, they used the sun as well. And they came to the conclusion that during the whole day, it doesn't come back to be flat. They also could be wrong about the radius because, the Earth is so big, it's not going to...
Even if they said it was double the size, half of this curvature should still be there. So it doesn't matter what size of the Earth they claim it is, it still needs to have curvature to make a ball. And the fact is, water doesn't even bend an inch, regardless of distance. So we could build a trench or a pool that's 100 miles across, fill it up with water. The surface of that water is always going to be horizontal. It doesn't matter how long you extend the pool.
How do you know that?
Because that's how water behaves. They're claiming that water doesn't behave that way. So you're familiar with spirit levels, right? So water is the number one tool for measuring level, which is horizontal. So water will always. So I don't know if you guys knew, water can't be compressed either. So water cannot be reduced in size. So if you have 1 cubic foot of water, you cannot reduce this. It cannot be compressed because water has properties. One of the properties is that when containing at rest, the surface always forms a level surface. That's just one of the properties. Another property of water is that we can walk on water because the water is not dense enough for us to walk on, because water has properties. Again, these are properties of matter that can be broken. People can claim, that something else is happening, but again, at the end of the day, physics doesn't lie. People do. Men lie. Reality doesn't. So I'm just showing that reality is showing something completely different than what we're being told.
This all comes down because you stated the gravity instead of
pull is a push. Yes.
Okay, so if it were the other way around,
then maybe the globe Earth would be possible, but it's not. That's the thing. So the force of the Earth is an upwards push, and that can be measured and detected by any accelerometer or any force detection device.
Do you believe Jupiter's flat?
Oh, so all the lights in the sky, so the planets, the stars that we see, the sun and the moon, when it comes to proving the shape of the Earth, it's a red herring argument because it doesn't prove anything, about the Earth. So it's like if I went into someone's house and they wanted me to measure their floor to see if it was level, and I started looking at the light bulbs in the ceiling to measure to see if the floor is level, that's just retarded. You'd probably laugh at me. You would expect me to bring a level to see if the floor is actually level. So that's what we will do to measure the Earth as well, just on a bigger scale. Because again, making assumptions about the lights in the sky, like, oh, I see a circle, therefore I'm going to believe it's a sphere, and because I believe that's a sphere, now the Earth is a sphere. Right? That just doesn't make any sense. In my opinion, the sun and the moon are part of the Earth creation. So they're there, it's all one unit. So the lights and the stars that we see, I would think that they're part of the Earth. And, they were used for navigation back in the day. They were like points of reference, if anything. That's it, just to navigate the Earth.
Sorry, I have a question.
Yes.
So when you look through a telescope and you see the moon, and the moon is round,
yes.
What about the moon?
So the only thing I know about the moon is that, I don't even know this. I've seen people do tests where they put a thermometer in direct moonlight and then in the shade, moon shade, and it detects a colder temperature in direct moonlight. So based on the evidence, again, I haven't done that test myself, it shows that the moon emits a cold light opposite of the sun. So the sun emits a warm light, the moon emits a cold light. So because again, the moon shade is warmer than direct moonlight. So other than that, again, it doesn't prove the shape of the Earth, obviously, but that's all I know. And again, I don't even know that because I didn't do that test myself, but I've seen other people do that test. And I think it's fascinating, Again, it has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth, but it is fascinating. Again, anything to do with the moon and the sun doesn't prove the shape of the Earth because nobody knows what these lights are. The fact is, nobody knows. We can make assumptions about what they are, what size they are, what they're made of, how far they are, but all of that doesn't tell us nothing about the dimensions of the Earth. The globe Earth uses these measurements, made-up measurements, to reinforce the model of the globe Earth because physically the globe Earth has nothing. So they have to focus and abstract theories about outer space, which nobody has been to reinforce their model.
So gravity,
yes.
In physics, they taught us that everything, depending on where you stand in the Earth, will fall toward the center of
yes.
Whether you're in Antarctica or some other place. So what are so what's your opinion on it?
So again, that pulling force that they're claiming, that everything just falls to the center, right? Because of its mass, it attracts other. That force is fictitious. It doesn't exist. So they're them claiming that a big body attracts a smaller body because it's just bigger, and there's some kind of magnetic thing that kind of pulls the other object towards it. Like that. It's just bullshit. So that they claim that, sure, like I've heard those explanations, but here on Earth, that force cannot be recreated, duplicated, or detected. It doesn't exist. It's just what's happening. Again, why things fall is because they have inertia, and it's the Earth that crashes into objects in free fall. Objects in free fall don't crash into the Earth. It's the Earth that crashes into objects in free fall. So that's why there's no force acting on this down, because again, the force is up. So another here, I can show you guys real quick. It's a 1-minute video of an accelerometer, and I think it's very fascinating. Let me see, where is it? Experiment, here it is. Check it out. So this is a force detection device.
A digital accelerometer is a device that detects the presence of a force or acceleration. For example, when at rest and connected to the Earth, it detects 1 g-force. As soon as I accelerate it from being at rest, the accelerometer detects that acceleration by increasing the g-force. Whether I accelerate it to the right, to the left, up, or down, the accelerometer will always detect the acceleration 100% of the time. However, the instant I put the accelerometer into freefall, it detects a deceleration. It goes from 1 g down to 0. If the accelerometer was accelerating down in freefall, it would detect that acceleration by increasing from 1 g, not decreasing. Not only does the accelerometer show that there's no detectable acceleration in freefall, it also shows that the vector or force of the Earth is up.
Wait, but I've done this experiment. It was
when I switch to the vector tab of...
What's your opinion on Galileo's, experiment,
Which one?
Where he goes on top of the building and he drops various objects, different weights.
Yes.
But they all came down to be 9.9.
They all fall at the same rate?
They accelerate at the same rate.
They accelerate at the same rate. So here's the thing. So they're claiming, so for example, in a vacuum, the bowling ball and feather experiment, right? Basically, that's what it is.
Yes.
Yes. So the bowling ball and feather experiment, they're claiming that gravity is pulling the way heavier bowling ball and the way lighter feather at the same rate, meaning gravity has to somehow adjust the force needed to accelerate the much heavier object and the less object to be able to accelerate them equally. So not only is that ridiculous, but not only that, it cannot be detected, that force down. So what's happening is when you let a feather go and a bowling ball go, and right here, right now, the bowling ball is gonna fall faster than the feather because of air pressure, air resistance, right? Because in my opinion, the air is pushing up right now, but it's not strong enough to push up the feather, but it does slow it down, right? When we create a vacuum environment and there is no longer air resistance, so nothing affecting the feather up, what happens? They both fall at the same rate, but not because they're accelerating down at the same rate, it's because they're decelerating down at the same rate. They're just falling back at the same rate because there's no air resistance to slow down the feather.
Well, yeah, Galileo just proved the acceleration part, but Newton's diagrams prove that if you multiply the gravity, the acceleration, by the mass, that will explain why if they fall, bowling ball is going to land.
Yeah, because they're saying that mass is proportional, the gravity is proportional to an object's mass. That's what they say, so that's why they use that formula. But the reality is inertia is proportional to an object's mass. So the resistance of inertia is proportional to an object's mass, which means an object that has much more mass than a smaller object, that object's gonna have more resistance. So that's why everything decelerates at the same rate, because inertia applies more resistance to a more mass object and less resistance to a less mass object. So it all has to do with inertia, pretty much. To why objects fall at the same rate. It's due to inertia, not a force.
So why do you think that people try to hide that if that is the case?
Yeah, I'll tell you. It's sorry for cutting you off, but yeah, it's literally for control. So if they could get you to believe that the Earth is something that it's not, then they're gonna get you to believe that you're someone you're not. So we're all kind of like living a lie, just doing what we're told. Pay taxes, pay rent, pay bills, pay this, pay that, and it's just about control at the end of the day.
Do you tie this with politics?
Oh, no, not necessarily, but they use a lot of tactics that are used in politics in this subject for sure. Because this is the #1 censored topic online by far. So they use a lot of like misrepresentation. This whole flat Earth, I know you guys have heard flat Earth. The whole flat Earth bullshit is all dumb too. So the whole globe Earth versus flat Earth is a false dichotomy. Why? Because flat Earthers are claiming the Earth is motionless. So they're claiming that there is no force to the Earth. They're dumb. In other words, they're just trying to make the subject look stupid. So they have agents to do that. You know.
So you agree with some of Newton's laws with the inertia, but maybe not.
Yes. So he claims an object at rest will always stay at rest unless acted by a force, which is true. But then he also claims that an object in motion will always stay in motion unless acted by another force. But that has never been proven. That's just theoretical. So the second part of the first law is not true in my opinion, because here on Earth, there's no such thing as perpetual motion. Something cannot just move forever with no force. They claim that they do. That an object will just move forever until there's another force acting on it, and that's retarded. That's not true.
So if the Earth is flat and it's a
pushing up,
yes. How is that constantly pushing up?
Yes. So the person before kind of asked, and I didn't answer it. They asked, what's creating the upwards push of the Earth, right? So that I don't know what's creating the upwards push of the Earth.
You
So
said that there can't be perpetual motion.
That's my thing. What's powering the Earth to be able to push up? Wherever created it. So in my opinion, it's not moving by itself. Definitely not. So there is a mechanism to the Earth's motion, but what is that mechanism? I don't know. So the Earth is a machine, in my opinion. It's literally a machine that was created. So they want to tell us that it just came from nothing and it evolved from rock and bacteria, and that's retarded. I hate to say it. The fact is, the Earth is an intelligently designed creation.
So have you ever played Minecraft before?
Yeah.
So what if, like, you just dig down and kind of see that? Do you think the mechanism is like just not so far below, or do you think it's like you gotta go far?
So here's, again, it could be something completely different, but here are my possibilities. So the Earth could be moving through some kind of magnetic field, like some kind of magnetic track, and it's just moving in that fixed track. It could be, the Earth could be in some kind of rotational arm where it could just be churning like that, and we're standing on it, and that upwards motion is what keeps us down. It could be moving up infinitely straight. I don't know. Some people like to mock and say, oh, there's rockets underneath the Earth pushing it up. Like, it's just, but I don't think that's the case, obviously. I think it's more something way more sophisticated, like a magnetic field that we're moving through, I think. And that's why the Earth doesn't shake like a car when you're driving through a road and stuff like that, because, there is earthquakes, and who knows why they happen, but yeah, I don't know what it is, to be honest, but it is fascinating to think about what's creating this motion, right? What's the mechanism behind it?
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Do you, because I am in a class where, we host scientific experiments.
Fair enough.
Do you believe, do you agree that what we were taught in school is a theory, and what you were saying is also a theory, that we don't really know the truth? That we can only do so much, we can only present so much evidence, but, nothing has been proven yet. So if one day, I get proven wrong or you get proven wrong, would you be able to accept, or would you keep on fighting to prove
Yeah, so I believed the globe Earth for over 24 years of my life.
Okay.
So obviously, I would defend the globe at first, right? Obviously, I didn't want it not to be a globe, right? I actually avoided this topic too in the beginning. So eventually I just looked into it just to debunk it. I actually went in to debunk it just to get it out of the way. The opposite happened. The globe got debunked. So what happened? So what was your question? I'm sorry. Kind of lost my train of thought there.
Oh no, it's fine. I just said, if one day, evidence against
Yeah. So I believe the globe Earth already. So when the evidence, obviously, I was willing to switch, even though I was going against the grain, So if you could show me evidence to go back to the globe, I would gladly go back. So if I was able to switch when it was even more taboo, I'm definitely, not going to be affected by consensus or what people think. I'm going to go based on what you present to me. So I would definitely go back to the globe if you could physically prove it. But it's not going to happen. I'm telling you, I'm 100% sure that it's not a globe. It's not a belief, in my opinion. It's just a knowing, because I know that. Because I understand. I go with what I know. I don't go with what people tell me. And that's simple, pretty much. So
that's a good trait to have. Not always, around other people, but it's definitely a good trait to be,
Yeah, it's just to be grounded in what you know. I think that's a very healthy place to be. Because if you just start believing people over your own common sense, I feel like that's a very dangerous road to go down. That's how cults are formed. when people just blindly follow a leader, you know, and that's exactly what's happening right now. We're just blindly following.
So you gathered some evidence that maybe went against what you were taught because you came to the conclusion that, you know, not everything we are taught is
True. Yes.
That's, you know, it's happened. It's happened so many times, you know. I forgot which one it was, but it was a chemistry concept. They were teaching it wrong.
I see.
So eventually it got fixed.
I would say this though, it's not a mistake. So it's not something where it's like, oh, somebody made a mistake down the line and we're just teaching wrong ignorantly. No, this is deliberate. I'm telling you, it's 100% deliberate. Why? Because a child can understand and debunk a globe earth. A 10-year-old, it has the mental capacity to debunk a globe earth. So to think that this happened by accident, to me, is kind of childish. Because 100% this was deliberate. You know, and that's one of the reasons why I'm out here, because it's being deliberate. It's literally the most censored subject because of it, you know. And yeah, you're not, if I just stay online and just make videos and just stay online, they're not going to get recommended to no one. That's how censored it is. So that's why I come out to the real world, speak to real people, because they can't censor me like this. They might try to in the future, try to censor freedom of speech. You know, they're kind of trying to, but right now I'm still able to come out and express that right, I guess.
We have a question.
Yes.
We found this thing and it's round.
Yeah, that's a toy.
It's a model.
Yeah, it's a model. Models are not real though.
Yeah.
How do you know?
Sorry, we're gonna head out.
Yeah, appreciate the chat, man. Take care. Here, did I give you here? Let me give you my channel. I go to other universities as well. You guys can check it out.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, you can take that with you.
If the Earth was flat, how would there be like multiple parts of Earth?
Multiple parts of Earth?
Like not parts. I mean,
Like
layers. Like layers.
Yeah, layers. So the Earth is not 100% flat. So Colorado is way higher than California. They're at higher elevation because they have mountains. So
you
the
don't
Earth.
think the Earth is flat?
Yes, it's not flat, it's level because there's mountains, there's valleys, you know, so there's a huge difference between flat and level. And then level is an orientation. Level is a horizontal.
Can I look at these?
Yeah.
Isn't there like a core in the middle?
That's what they tell us. But nobody's ever proved that. You want to know how what's the deepest we've ever dug, humans? Only 8 miles. So they claim the center or the core of the Earth is almost 4,000 miles.
Wait, so where does lava come out?
You know, it'd be that just stop
It's a mystery. Nobody actually knows. They make assumptions of where that lava comes from. That's where they come up with the core. But they can't prove that. They just say it. I could say that lava comes from a golem that's trapped underneath the earth and he farts.
A layer,
and he
if it's
farts
flat. If
lava.
it's flat, there's no layer, so where would the lava
Wait, but
there is layers. There's definitely layers.
can't
Like, so we're saying it.
there's like rocket ships that go out of space and they record on the shape of Earth. So
Yeah, let me
doesn't that just show you?
No, so a lot of people that go in high altitude planes, or so, for example, you guys are familiar with the fisheye lens, like the GoPro camera,
Yeah.
the wide angle lens. So that wide angle lens warps horizontal lines. So when somebody's skydiving, for example, on an airplane or flying very high, and they show curvature with a camera, they're usually using a GoPro.
Wouldn't that show curvature on this too?
No, because when you remove the camera lens and correct it to how it should be, the horizon is always horizontal. Like, for example, this one.
And what made you believe this?
Well, it's not a belief. It's just understanding how matter behaves. So you guys believe it's a globe because that's what you were told.
But there's more evidence showing.
So schools are
supporting
teaching
our
the wrong
part.
thing? So schools are teaching us the wrong thing?
When it comes to the shape of the Earth, yes. Yeah.
But
100%.
like you said that the shape of the Earth affects everything. So when you say that they're teaching the wrong shape, you're saying that schools are teaching the wrong everything.
Yeah, you could say that.
So
in a
did
way.
you not go
matter?
to school?
I did go to
Just
school.
drop out?
Honestly, you'll probably be better off if you dropped off.
Okay.
But
Then that can affect us.
no, but obviously it won't help you in the system that we created because we need to make money, right?
Wait, who made
So you need to be.
this?
Yeah.
It's not a
Or
belief.
not, like,
No, like since
I
when
mean,
have you been
who
believing
brought
that?
this into your mind?
So,
Like,
so I didn't come across this by myself. Obviously, I came across another YouTuber, you could say, right? They introduced the subject. They talked about a lot of different points, you know.
So did you used to think that the Earth looked like our model?
Yeah, I used to believe the globe Earth for 24 years.
Did they show Wait, how old are you?
Just give me 10 more
Did they
years.
show you more evidence than the evidence that they have that the Earth is round?
Yeah, so the evidence that they say that the Earth is round is just images. They just show you an image, and then they say, "Oh, look, it's round." But an image can easily be faked, right?
So
Especially
if
with
Mr.
Photoshop.
Beast came to you right now and told you that he'll take you on a trip to like around the world, you would say no because you think that the word is like that.
Wait, if somebody were to travel the world and if it was flat, wouldn't they have to travel it like this then? Or like in a
Like a
circle
swirl?
rather than
Yeah,
like this?
No, so here, let me show you on a map.
half circle.
So airplanes fly level. You guys, I don't know if you guys knew that.
Yeah, but we're talking about like spaceships.
Same thing, bro.
Well,
no, because he said airplanes.
No, sure. Okay.
Airplanes aren't outside of
spaceships. You guys need to take a look at when they shoot rockets up into space. They automatically start making a curve, right?
Yeah.
And then eventually they start going down. The nose is pointing down. You know, they say that they're going around a curve, right? So what happens is when they shoot a rocket up and then it starts to turn and it goes way far, nobody could see it anymore. They cut to CGI. So once nobody could see the rocket anymore, they cut to CGI, and it's basically just a movie what people are seeing.
But when they first
Using
did
green
that and
screens.
got footage, I thought CGI wasn't invented yet.
When what?
Yeah.
When they first like had the first rocket and
You're
go to
talking
space.
about the moon landings in 1972?
There was
Yeah.
no CGI. At
So that was done
time.
in a studio because there was no CGI. You're right.
Oh,
So
like
it was-
Man in the what's it
They
called?
were in someone's basement, you know, and they just did
Oh,
it in
and
the
they
studio.
recorded that?
Yeah, they
But like the
recorded it.
studio quality wasn't as good, so wouldn't you know it's fake?
Yeah, you guys should go see the moon landing footage. It's actually pretty fun. It's literally fake ass fudge.
Okay.
Yeah, you could see wires from the astronauts when they fall, they get pulled back up because they have to give the illusion that they're like floating kind of.
So are you saying that people have never been to the moon either?
The moon is not a physical object you can land on.
Wait, actually?
They
Oh
claim
my
that, right?
goodness.
The moon is just the light.
Then where did they
The
put
light?
our American
So wouldn't the
flag?
whole space?
In
Wait,
someone's
why did you
basement.
go like this when you said space? Do you not believe in space either?
Well, there is an area outside of the Earth, but it's not what they're claiming. They're claiming as a vacuum of space.
Wait,
with-
so no other planets, just ours? Or
as
So
far
when
as
you
I know,
release a balloon,
this is the only
where
place of
does it go?
existence. Yes.
oh.
Wait,
So all the things that they're claiming about Mars
Wait,
is
but
like
then
not
how
like-
would if there's not anything outside? Where is the sun? Like
Yeah,
No,
and how does the
and how
sun
does the
circle
moon-
the world if
Yeah,
the world
if
is
it's
it can't be
square.
circled?
Yeah, so the sun and the moon are part of the Earth's system. So they're spotlights for the Earth. Just like in your house, you don't want it to be dark. You need light to be able to see,
So
right?
the
yeah.
sun
So if the
wouldn't
moon
circle?
isn't a thing, then what gives light at night?
on a moon?
No, the moon is
You would
just
just
the light.
fall?
I don't know what the moon is. I think it's just a light. I don't think it's physical. Just like a rainbow, you'll fall
Well,
through
if
it,
it's
right?
a light just stays in
How
one
do you know
spot.
you can't stand?
A light could move.
Wait, how do you know?
Well, like
You could point a
stars.
laser and move it.
Wait, so
Wait,
you're
so
saying
it
that
has
the
to,
sun
like-
doesn't like circle?
how do you know that?
The sun does move above us. I don't know exactly how it works.
Does
and what
the
it's made
moon
out of.
circle too then?
Yeah. Yes.
Then
It
how
does
would
move
the light-
circulate.
Then how would there only be? Then how is there like a crescent and a half moon sometimes if they both move together?
Well, that's just how the moon has phases, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
The light has phases.
yeah, it's just
The
phases.
light because the moon isn't a thing.
They're saying that that's a reflection of the sun, the phases of the moon.
Hasn't
how
a
it has
person
crescent.
been on a moon?
But in my opinion, I'm sorry.
Hasn't a person been on a moon?
No.
Then
They
how
claim-
would-
like, what
then
about
how
the
would
body
people
cameras?
died
Are
in
those
a
CGI too?
spaceship?
That what?
Like, you know how they said that people have died going to the moon? So did they just die for fun?
No, so here's
They're
a
like,
funny
"You
story. You
think
guys can look
it's
this up. Again, it has nothing to do with this, but in the 90s, I think, there was a rocket that they shot up, supposedly, with like 6 astronauts in there, supposedly. What happened was a malfunction. That rocket, when they shot it up, it exploded. So technically, all these astronauts that were inside should have died, right?
Yeah.
Guess what happened? 10 years later, all those astronauts are still alive. They just have different jobs.
Do you know the names?
The fact is, nobody's in these rockets when you shoot them up because shit like that could happen. It could just explode because they're not really going to space.
So where are they going? They like go
They
up
just-
and then they go down.
yes,
They just pretend.
to the ocean. Have you guys heard of the Mariana Trench?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That the reason why that's so restricted, in my opinion, that nobody.
Because they go in there.
Yeah.
What if
So
that's
that's-
Like
a fake
Area
Mars?
51 type?
Yes. Yeah, that's another fallacy. Area 51. They want people to believe in aliens.
Wait, what
They don't
about the
exist.
little? What about the little? I forgot what the
'Cause
robot's
that
called. The
reinforces
one that's in the
outer space.
moon.
Do you believe in
Oh
aliens?
wait,
No.
where is he?
Aliens?
No,
like
no,
those
the
robots
little.
that they send up
Wait,
Oh, yeah.
wait, sir.
Level.
What about the little robots that have like cameras and they get into
And
the
they
moon
circle
and then
the
they're
moon.
yeah they circle
Is
the
that
moon.
also in someone's basement?
Oh yeah, that's just CGI.
Wait,
Yeah.
but like those have been around for a while,
They
so like
say that, yeah, but.
But there's people that have like.
You guys should look at footage from the space agencies from like the 80s. It looks so funny.
but
It looks like
there's
stop
people-
motion pictures. Like, you know, like
Well,
the,
their
like
cameras
robot
were bad.
their
Oh
cameras.
my goodness.
Yeah,
But it's like really like no one knows if the world is like flat or round because like we're all humans. Like there's only certain things that we can do. So it's like even if you see something of a lens differently, this person next to you is gonna see the same thing. So we really don't know like most of the things in this world.
I would
So
agree.
We could all be wrong.
I will agree that we don't know
Yeah,
everything
the Earth
about
could
the
be a
Earth.
star.
No, we don't know everything about the Earth. I will agree, but there is aspects of the Earth that we do know that we can find out. But there is a limit to how much we could know. For example, we understand that steel is stronger than wood. you know.
But like, what if that's CGI too? What if like, what is
no, because we
wrong?
could,
you can test it out.
Yes,
Oh.
test it. So there's things that we can prove to be true in this reality.
And then some things are just like common sense, like you see it and you just know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, again, there's a lot of, like, we can't walk through walls. You know, that's a fact.
I think we know that.
You can try. Go
You can
ahead. Try to run through a wall, you know, as fast as you can without breaking it. But no, the point being is,
Wait, if this was CGI, how is there a picture of the universe behind them?
what are you looking at?
A picture.
Are you looking at Jupiter? Or?
No, it's
Wait, but Jupiter isn't a thing. That's CGI too.
this one. Look, there's stars behind him.
How do you explain that though?
That's just done in the studio. That actually the real.
But green screen wasn't
it's just all
invented
done in
back
garage?
then.
You guys got to look at the original footage from the moon landings. There is no stars actually. And they asked the astronauts why there isn't any stars. And the reason why they didn't put stars is because they didn't have the technology back then. That's actually made.
Because they didn't know it was like there were stars, so that's why they didn't put it.
They didn't think people were actually going to question it, you know, in the future. They didn't even think about putting stars. There's actually no stars in the real footage.
Oh, that's too bad.
And it's actually very hard to find the original footage too. I wonder, because they don't want people to see it.
Yeah.
So if I try to look for it right now, like original,
That'll be hard.
it was back 10 years ago when I first got into the subject. Everybody was sharing it online. You know, all these flat earthers that were in the beginning, like introducing the subject.
Wait, what year were you
They're all
born?
controlled opposition.
What
So I
year
don't
were you
follow
born?
anyone really right now. I just do
What
this for
beliefs
myself.
do you believe?
I don't have beliefs. So when it comes to the objective world,
Do
I
you
don't
believe
I don't
that
believe in it.
science created humans?
I don't even. So
Wait, do you believe in the Big Bang?
no. So
Evolution.
no. So this
You
page
don't
is a
believe
creation.
any of
No, it's a creation. So I don't have to believe that. That's just a fact.
Well, no one said they have to.
Oh,
What
it's
do
just
you
a-
believe in?
That's the thing. I don't have beliefs. I just accept that this is a creation. I don't believe in any creation.
Wait, I don't see any lines.
I don't know.
So do
I would
you-
like to know.
So you don't know how this world was like here?
Nope. Nobody knows. That's the beauty of it. Nobody knows. So anybody telling you that they know,
So
they're bullshit.
everything.
Wait, so what do you think about religion then?
Yeah, they're all bullshitters.
So everything was
Yeah.
so.
All
Like
of them.
everything was like the gravity. How is like that's so perfect? Like there had to be
Yes.
a creator. Like someone had to do something because everything is like so perfectly made. Where like if there was one thing that was
A little
like,
off, then
the
none of
whole
it would
gravity.
exist.
Fair enough. But the thing is that your belief in gravity is just a mathematical concept. So gravity that they're proving, right, or that they're showing, is that they're just measuring. For example, when they drop this, they just measure how long it took for this and the Earth to meet.
Wait, so if the Earth just went up instead of my little
Yes.
model falling down, then wouldn't we get to like a top eventually?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's the thing.
Oh, so we're constantly moving up.
Yes.
Wait, how
Wait, but
So
where's the top
when
of
we
this?
reach the top of whatever
Wait,
up
but
is,
if we
what are you gonna
always
see,
went to
God?
the top, how would I be able to lift stuff if there's so much pressure?
If the
putting
Earth
it
was a
down?
globe, in outer space, is there a top, an end to the top?
Well, we never know.
Well, we don't
CGI
know yet because we
hasn't
haven't
taught us
reached
that.
there.
Right. Same thing. I don't know. If
So
we ever
we'll never
reach
stop.
there.
Wait, but
Wait,
like,
oh wait,
if we're
in this
always
video-
going up, how are we able to put things down if there's so much pressure?
What do you mean if the
Like, if the Earth is coming up, like if I'm putting something up, then I can't bring it down because my hand's putting it down. My hand's pulling it up, I can't pull it down at the same time. It would be stuck. So how are we able to drop it?
the things? So this it doesn't fall because I'm sustaining it right now, right?
Yeah, so if you let go of it,
Yeah.
it'll fall.
There's nothing sustaining it anymore.
Exactly.
So the Earth
So
crashes into
the
it.
Earth, if the Earth crashes, what?
No, because then it has
So if
nowhere
I
else to
jump
go.
right now,
Yes,
the
exactly.
Earth is gonna come straight up.
Yes. So the Earth just
Yeah.
crashes anything that's in free fall. So when a helicopter's flying and
So
they
you're
turn
not
the
going back
engines
down.
off,
You're just staying in the same spot where you just jumped.
So
up.
you
not
don't believe in
necessarily.
gravity?
You're still moving up, but you're slowing
So you
down.
don't believe in gravity?
Gravity is a push of the Earth, not a pull. So the gravity
Oh,
is
so
not
you do believe in gravity,
Yes.
but not the average gravity.
not
that
the
everyone
pulling
believes.
force of gravity. The gravity is the upwards motion of the Earth.
Wait, I have a question. In this video,
Wait, did you go to this
like
college?
if there,
Wait, which
What
one did you go
college?
to?
I didn't go to any college.
Oh, okay.
So where'd you get all this evidence?
From the real
just,
world.
From just random
Yeah, 'cause-
like
'cause-
articles?
Wait, so what do you
You
work
do
in
your own
then?
research.
maybe you should go to space and we should find out.
Nah, for sure, all of the astronauts are 100% lying. So all the people
So
that
you
work.
should become an astronaut to prove them wrong.
Wait, then how is it that the astronauts that do come back are always like have those after effects? Are they faking those after effects?
Yeah.
Wait, so how do all of
They're
them fake the
actors.
same effect?
Actronauts, that's what I call them.
Oh,
Oh, because they're actors. Because they're actors.
I don't know her, bro.
No, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So wait, in this
if
video,
if you like wanted like the whole world to change, like Why didn't you like want to go to college, be really smart, and
Yeah,
make your
become
own
a
change
professor.
and
College-
show everyone instead of just having no like actual evidence that you were there or that like really professionals were there showing.
So if I went to college and I never pursued this, I would just be brainwashed like everyone else. So
But you could like
I would
pursue
not-
it while like.
Sorry.
Wait,
I can't with you.
wait, what? Yeah, well, going to college.
yeah, so I know it might be hard to believe, but colleges actually do the opposite of making people intelligent. They actually make people dumb. So they make you dumb in a sense where they make you just regurgitate what they teach you. They don't really teach you what you're learning.
But
And
they
I'll-
have evidence. And
Well, it
like,
depends
the
what
people
subject.
That don't think that don't have any evidence.
Well, again, if you're talking about like
That's why
astrophysicists,
people don't think. That's why they think they're like idiots. 'Cause they don't have any evidence, and they actually. Do.
but when you look at their evidence, it's just explanations and assumptions.
And aren't all explanations evidence to something?
No, no,
to
no,
a
no.
claim?
So I can give you an explanation how Superman flies. Does that mean Superman is real and can actually fly?
No.
But I can
Well,
come
we
up with
never said
equations.
he was real.
I
We're
can literally
using
make up
Real
equations.
character, but
Yeah, you're
he's not a real person.
So
He's not
if
a real
I
person.
explain to you how there's
If I
no
explain-
water here, that doesn't make the water disappear.
But the water's
Exactly.
clear, so maybe it's not there.
No,
And
my
the
point is,
water,
there,
that's
it's
just
there.
a
my point is, an explanation is different from a proof. Because an explanation that has no proof is just that.
But what if
explanation.
someone went up to space and actually showed you like proof?
you believe
would
it?
you like?
What would
or
make you
be
believe that the
here
Earth is
and
round?
showing
A
people?
physical measurement of water, for example, or a physical measurement of downwards acceleration.
So if someone actually showed you evidence like in front of your face, like, would you regret sitting here?
I mean, if you could prove to me that I'm wrong, I mean, I wouldn't regret it, but I'll be thankful that you prove me wrong, right? That way I don't continue in my path into ignorance, I guess, right?
Oh yeah. Okay, so if they're like looking through a fish-eyed camera with the GoPro or whatever they're using, how come the person isn't warped as well?
Isn't what?
Shouldn't everything be warped and not just the object?
It actually is, but you just have to be paying close attention to that. It's because that the warping effect behind them is more predominant because it's just a line. The person is, I mean, it's a person. You're not gonna be able to see like the arm bulge out a little bit more than the other, you know.
And why would
It does
they-
warp people
And why would people want us to believe fake evidence?
because they want to lie to you about your existence.
But like, what do
and
they
your true
gain from
purpose.
that? What's the point of lying to us?
Because if they can lie to you about your true purpose, then you're gonna live someone else's purpose. You're just gonna
Well,
do
what
you're
did they
told.
gain from that? Like,
Well-
what's the point of doing that?
Because the majority of people, first of all, don't like waking up 6 in the morning, working 9 to 5, right? It's like nobody likes doing that,
What do
right?
you do for a job?
I'm self-employed. I work in, have my own business. But here's my thing. My point is that what they have to gain is everyone, the majority, the 99%, are working for the 1%. So
Wait, I
they're
have another
basically
question.
Do you
living
think
in
the
life.
Earth is flat? Do you think the Earth is flat?
I saw your stand earlier. Is there like any way I can like do it without being on camera?
Here, tell you what. Because I'm already like, this is my last conversation. You can take my channel.
Oh.
You can give it a look. And I do open panels on my channel as well. So if you're ever interested, you can obviously join one.
Do you believe the Earth is flat?
What?
Do you believe the Earth is flat?
You believe the Earth is a globe, right?
Huh?
Do you
believe
think the
that-
Earth looks like this or like half of this?
I think it looks like a globe. Yeah.
A globe? Why do you believe the Earth is a globe?
Because it's the truth. Everyone just thinks that.
The reason why I think it's a globe is okay. So you see the sun is like a globe, and like
I would say that's an assumption, but yeah, it's a circle, sure.
so we can see the sun is a circle, and Mercury is a circle, and Venus is a circle.
Sure.
And then all the other planets around us are circles. So like, why would we be like a flat like disc, and then all the planets
he
around
says
us
because
are-
there's no planets. All those are CGI.
Yeah,
according
it's
to
just
him.
myths.
No. Here, I'll show
And
you
the
what
first Earth landing was a
Wait,
myth.
so do
as
you think
well.
all like the CGI things were like done
So-
in like a?
He says
Where do you think the
that
studios
everything was
are?
created
So this is what the
perfectly just
this is
right.
what
Yeah,
the
where are
stars.
the studios?
So
I
this
don't
is
hear
what
he
the
has to say.
so this is what the stars look like. First of all, if you use a P900 camera like optical zoom, this
That
is
looks
what
about right.
yeah.
Wait, who's saying that's not CGI?
Oh yeah.
Because anyone can get a telescope and zoom into the stars, and this is what they look like. Here's my point. So this is what they claim the planets look like, right? So this is what it actually looks like through a regular standard camera, but this is their super supposedly.
But hold on, why is it when I look through a telescope it looks like that?
Because this
Good
is
job.
because this is a cartoon.
Well, but like,
wait,
are
but
all
it's through a
telescopes?
telescope.
Yeah.
This is
The
what NASA
telescope-
shows us, but this is what it actually looks
But
like. So
when
NASA,
He just said that when he looks at a telescope, he looks
So
at
is
days.
NASA connected to my Apple? Because when I zoom in on the
and
moon,
even
it's
if you
also
did look,
looking
even
like
if you
real.
did look at this, that doesn't prove the Earth is a globe, because again, looking at the lights in the sky and making assumptions about them it's a false argument when it comes to proving the dimensions of the Earth.
Well, I think it's really good you're exercising your free speech. I don't agree with your point, but I think it's very brave of you to come out here.
Yeah,
It's
thank
nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Take
care.
care.
Yeah, take care.
Can never take that much hate.
So looking at the lights in the sky to prove the shape of the Earth is a fallacious point. Like,
Wait,
doesn't make any
last
sense.
question. But
Yes.
like, where do you think these studios are?
I don't know. I have no clue. Somewhere in Hollywood, maybe.
Wait, also,
But
it's
like, if everyone visits Hollywood, wouldn't you eventually find out where they're recording? And then everything would be a lie, and then
So
everyone would find out.
the people that are involved in these projects, you might ask yourself, well, why don't they talk? Why don't they expose them? Well, a lot of these people sign NDAs. I don't know if you guys know what that is.
Indian aid?
I have one more question.
NDA. So when you sign an NDA, that's a non-disclosure agreement, meaning anyone that works for government, any like secret operations or anything to do with government, most likely they sign an NDA, so they cannot talk about
Wait,
what
if
they
like
do.
somebody finds out, do you think they like kill them or something?
They have actually. There's stories of astronauts dying in accidents, but they were
so they count as people that like will leak information.
So there was an astronaut back in the day that was going to leak all this, that it's impossible to go to space and all this. So what happened is he died in an accident in NASA's facilities, and they just replaced him. They just used someone else. And he was about to come out.
Have you ever won your argument
against somebody
if
else?
You've ever argument with someone? Like, have you ever?
It's not about
like,
it's not about winning or losing. It's about what could be presented. So nobody has presented me.
Just helping other people understand that it's...
Yes. So nobody can prove the globe. I've spoken to astrophysicists. I've spoken to physics professors. I've
Well,
spoken
where
to
did they get their
lecturers.
degrees from, or are they like self-taught too?
No, they are just being taught what you guys were taught. Now they're teaching what they were taught. So
Wait.
it's just a cycle that.
Wait, back to the fisheye. I use a fisheye filter, and my face is warped too. So I don't know if that's like. So shouldn't it warp the body?
It
in
does,
the other,
it does.
But you just said that it doesn't warp the bodies in just the bigger picture.
Like for example, this is a wide angle lens.
Wait, are you recording us?
Yeah, well, it probably died by now. But point is that this is a wide angle lens as well. It warps horizontal lines, but if you're standing right in front of it like this, it's gonna be kind of hard to see that warp effect. But if you put a straight line and raise it above the lens, you'll start to see it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like if you put this right here and then I go above it, it's gonna warp it, and if I go down, it's gonna warp it. You know, because it's straight. You know, you standing in front of it's gonna kind of be hard to see that warp. You know,
Because we're not straight.
Because you're not straight. Yeah.
Well, I have my friend Twee, and she's not. So.
Did you just laugh because she's not
All right.
straight?
Alright. Hi. You guys have any questions about this?
All the planets are CGI.
They're not CGI. They're just lights.
No,
in the
the
sky.
moon landing
wait,
is
are you
No,
saying
CGI.
the
what-
Earth is flat, or
what
what
the-
are you saying?
Yeah, he's
What-
saying the Earth is flat.
What there's no, it's
Earth
level.
is not flat.
It's level. It's not
How
flat.
how am I gonna prove I'm smarter than fifth grade?
Oh,
You have to look. He's trying to convince you that the world is flat.
I'm not trying to convince anyone, and it's not flat. It's level. It's a huge difference.
Okay, well,
But
what's the
my-
difference between level and flat?
So flat has nothing to do with orientation. Level is an orientation, which is horizontal. It's perpendicular to the vertical, right?
So when you're saying level, you're saying it's kind of flat.
When I'm saying level, I mean it's perpendicular to the vertical force of the Earth. So flat earthers, they deny the force of the Earth. So they claim the Earth is motionless. So they're retards.
But you're
So you're saying
it's
that-
not a circle. It's not a circle, right?
The Earth is a level plane. What it looks like as a whole, I have no clue. But the surface that we
there's
live on is
pictures.
level.
How do you want me to prove that I'm smarter than fifth grade? That's
That's
Oh,
the
I already,
question.
yeah, I already did that in the beginning. It's just to introduce the subject
But then
about the
that's-
shape of the Earth.
Then shouldn't that be, is Earth flat?
Yeah, I already did the questions to them in the beginning. But yeah, it's about the shape of the Earth, this whole topic, pretty much. And we don't live on a globe. And the reason why I have a "you're smarter than a fifth grader" is because a fifth grader has a mental capacity to debunk a globe Earth. That's how easy it is to debunk it.
But Earth is kind of a sphere.
Trust
There's
me, you could-
pictures from space.
Yeah, these right here, look.
Yeah, didn't the Artemis?
So I have images of the Earth.
That's a
as well.
sphere.
Yeah, these are.
No one has ever
I don't know if you.
stand on the moon.
So NASA admits these are all CGI. They admit they don't take real photographs of the Earth. You should look it up. So that's not even up for debate. They admit. So a real photograph of the Earth from space as a ball doesn't exist. They're all cartoons. Yes, they're all cartoons. So you gotta ask yourself why. If that doesn't raise any questions, then I can't really help you. How do I know the Earth is level? Yes. So water. So when you have water in a container, water will always take the shape of the container and the surface will always equalize level. So it doesn't matter, like if you have a giant pool, when you fill up the pool, the surface is always level. It doesn't matter how big the pool is. They're trying to tell us that every lake on Earth, even though it's filled with water, that is bending 8 inches per mile squared.
Technically, isn't that true? When you go to the beach, you start to get deeper.
No, what you see...
No, the water does start to get
Yeah,
deeper.
but that's not because the water is elevating up. It's because the floor is getting lower. But the water is remaining... The water's in the same level.
Because you can see Einstein's straight.
Yes, you're smart.
Thanks. What
No,
the heck?
no, but yeah, that is true. The horizon is always in front of you.
It does go down. The
No,
Earth does go...
It doesn't.
It does, because we have deep oceans, so that's...
Oh, yes, I guess in that sense, sure, the Earth, but it doesn't form a ball. So the oceans are just giant craters, but the Earth is just an extended level plain. So you know how, like, if you empty the water of a lake, what are you going to be left with? Just like a hole. A hole, pretty much. That's what the oceans are on a bigger scale. That's it. But when you fill up water in that hole, the surface is always going to be level. So the oceans are level. That's why the term sea level comes from that, because the oceans are horizontal. So yeah. So that's just the reality, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, fair enough.
Wait, do you think I'm smarter than a 5th grader?
Yeah, you all are. Now, if you guys don't think you are, that's just because you guys are doubting yourselves, which you shouldn't
I never
do.
doubt myself.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. All right. You guys have a good one.
You too.
All right. My God. Yeah. What the fuck? Yeah, I'm calling it already, guys. Shit. Alright, that's going to be it for this one. Again, thanks again for everyone that shows up, everyone that shares the videos. I really do appreciate it. Went way longer than expected. But yeah, it is what it is. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.